alive. We're here. We're here. Woo! Woohoo! Woohoo! All right. Wow. Here's our BookStara read-along final spoiler-filled vlog. Not vlog. What am I talking about? I've been vlogging. I know. For the Green Bone Saga. That's what I'm talking about. The series, the Green Bone Saga. We're talking about Jade Legacy. I've got my wonderful co-hosts, Paige from Page to Page and Danielle from BookStara. We're super excited. They should be linked down in the description box below. If they're not, they should be. But I made this video so long ago, I don't remember anything. If they're not, I'll do that later. We're very excited that everybody is going to be here to talk to us about these books.
Leanna.
Oh, goodness.
Oh.
Well, the next series won't be this. It won't be this.
Right. Paige is color coordinated.
Look at that. And this is YA mystery.
That's going to be so refreshing. Really.
You do match. I love that. Yeah, Paige, you do look perfect with your book. So you're going to hold it the whole time just like that.
And I was worried nobody was going to show up. Look at you guys. You're awesome.
Hello, Alicia. Yes, it looks beautiful. It looks gorgeous. It looks stunning.
She did that on purpose.
And Stacy. Hello,
Stacy.
Leanna's laughing at you. Yeah, the next book, we'll just go over right away. The next series, we are starting next month, y'all. We're starting it right away because we took 2 months for Jade Legacy.
Dear person at my library, if you're watching this, please turn in A Good Girl's Guide to Murder because I need it right now.
Yeah. You may talk to them?
It's been on hold.
I've been reading too much of this. You need me to whisper their name?
That seems a little extreme. I could just go buy my own copy.
Mine was gifted.
Oh, lucky girl.
Mel gifted me that one.
Where did I get mine? I think I bought it a while ago. When I was just like, I really want to read that because it was really popular for a while. This was so popular for a while, and I wanted to read it. So, all right, let's see. The next series is a reread for me, but I loved them all. That's what I've heard so much.
Very encouraging.
We're on trend.
We are on trend.
TV series comes out for it. There's a TV show coming out for it next month.
Seriously? Oh,
yeah,
next month.
We didn't even do that on purpose.
No, we didn't.
But we're gonna act like we did.
Oh my god! And I'm like, oh my god.
We prepared. You know. We're so good. We knew this was happening.
We're a very current, and with it book club. Okay, we keep with the trends, and
I wish there was a TV series coming out for this series. Wouldn't that be amazing?
Yeah.
Who could you cast as those characters?
Ooh, we should do that. Have a think on that. Who would we cast as the characters?
Oh yeah.
We could make a little extra channel in the Discord, and everybody could put their. This is who I would cast as Nico. This is who I would cast as Rue and Hilo and Wen and everybody.
That would be amazing.
I would love that.
That would be so interesting.
Okay, let me make a note to do that.
I would really enjoy that a lot because I'm just not ready for the Green Bone fun to be over with quite yet.
Wouldn't it? I think it would be great for them to have a show. I would think it would make a really good show.
Yeah.
See, so who knows how long that'll take? Oh, my library has it out for fixing. That's annoying.
Fixing the binding.
Yeah.
No.
August 1st.
Alicia says it's out now in the UK.
Oh.
So does it okay, here's my question. Sorry, this book. If I watch it, will it spoil the other books? Second and third books. I don't know.
I don't know.
Good girls got news. Blah, blah, blah.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's good. I don't know. I'll have to find out. It's out in the UK now. Anybody who has seen it, let us know. Green Bone Saga would be a good show. It has to be a show, so a movie wouldn't work. Agreed. No, it needs to be a show. This has to be an in-depth show. Gave Jade Legacy 4-star. Yeah, what was everybody else's ratings?
4.5.
I gave it 5.
Is that what I put in the chat?
Any book
no,
that
I'm questioning.
make me cry like that gets 5 stars.
I gave it a 4.5 also. But the series, I almost feel like I would give 5 stars.
It's a 5-star series for me, for sure.
Series, but I think I still love the second book best. And for one of the reasons that one of the reasons that Paige said in her comment, and then another reason that I'll talk about when we get to that Danielle wants to talk about, because she commented that she wants to talk about that during the slide discussions. But I still loved it. It just was maybe 4.75. I don't know. But the whole series is definitely a 5-star series for me.
So I gave the first 2 books 4 stars. Both.
Right. Both of them?
But I think you're a character-driven reader, so the more invested you get in with the characters,
you're exactly
the higher your ratings are going to be.
You're exactly right. That's exactly what happened.
That's why I liked the second book better, was because I'm also character-driven.
But I think you're a balance. Like, your characters need to be good, but you will also need that pacing and all of that to work really, really well. And I don't think it did as well for this one. So it had that bearing, whereas it's a little bit easier to just, if you're a pure character-driven reader, it's just like, I love my babies, do not harm them.
Yeah.
Whereas you're like,
oh my god, the babies in this one.
And then, also make sure that everything feels cohesive.
Okay, I gave the first one 4.25 and the second one 5 stars, and this one is a 4.5 for me. Yeah, I feel pretty good about that.
What I gave them now.
4.255 and then 4.5.
Yes. Okay. And you were 4, 4, and 5.
Mm-hmm.
Hold up. I'm getting there. I gave Jade City 5, Jade War 4, and this 4.5.
Okay.
It's so interesting how we've all had but we all agree it's like a 5-star series for us. It's just the individual books' ratings are different.
Agreed.
Yeah, I really waited until I got done with this last book to be able to say whether or not I could truly recommend this series. Like, I reserved judgment until I figured out how it was going to go down, and then I was like, okay, yeah, you should read it. It's good.
Yeah.
I have caveats. Like, when recommending it, I have caveats for people because there are definitely going to be people who aren't going to enjoy this because of the amount of politics. Because a lot of people don't like that much. All the stuff that goes along and having to know everything that's going on, not only within the clans, but also within the countries and within these little groups. Like,
then more countries.
And then within the family,
so
specifically in the relationships, it's very, very intricate. Yeah. And so people who don't love that aren't going to love this. That's what this is all. This is a character-driven series. Like, you have to like, you
either have to love it or you have to be able to be like me and take out like the major, like, important nuggets, like enough to be able to piece that together and make it make sense. And just be okay with that. Like, just be okay with not fully comprehending every tiny thing. Because I didn't. I'll be really honest. Like, there was some stuff I was just like, no, not sure what just happened there.
Yeah. And I said, well, and that's why this is one of those series that you can read in another 5 years and it would feel like, for one, get so much more out of it because you kind of remember some of it, but also you'd probably learn a whole bunch of brand new things because it has so much detail to it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Alicia gave 5, definitely 5. I don't think it's often the second book is a favorite. No, but Royal Assassin was my favorite of the. That was my favorite of the Farseer trilogy. Amber says,
you were second book with.
I guess so. Well, because usually I don't know.
Second book syndrome, and it's like, not for Amy.
That's my girl.
People hate second books. Series the 5-star. My favorite was also the middle book, Jade War. That book had my whole heart. Leaf says I couldn't comprehend everything either, but the characters are just everything.
Absolutely.
I loved how complex these characters, and I loved all the gray area. That I was totally in. I was totally into that.
All of the gray
Amy
area.
loved Barrow so much.
That.
I love that you and I both were like, she's not remember it.
I mean, he wasn't great. He was completely black all the time. There was no angelic part of him. No gray area with Barrow. he was one way. He was not the other.
I just saw your. I was going in here to see which person it was that said that Barrow was like a Twinkie or a cockroach.
Yeah.
And it was Annie. But then I also just saw Amy's comment, fucking Barrow. I actually laughed at that final scene with him, Paige. Better to laugh than to cry, haha. And it was actually quite appropriate that he get the final word, the bastard. I love that so much.
I loved that scene with Nico and him. Oh, it was so good. I lived for that.
The one where he was like, if you want to end your life, you go ahead and do it yourself, but don't you delude yourself into thinking that it ever had any meaning. Boom!
It made him so small, and I loved that.
It was fantastic.
Oh, it was so good.
It's fantastic.
That was like maybe not my favorite scene, but that was just like so vindicating for me who hated her so much. It was just like, yes. Thank you, Nico. Thank you. Your stale personality was perfect in that moment.
Amy.
Sorry. I don't really believe that, but kind of. Did she just say she loves Barrow? Me? 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 How the hell did he make it to the end? Seriously. Barrow rode off in the sunset just like I said he would. Oh, he did. He did, Amber, he did. Actually, I thought that was appropriate. Like, he got the last word in. I mean, I loved the scene with Nico, and Nico, we won over Barrow. We really won over Barrow. But it's like, oh, has anybody ever seen Les Mis? Les Miserables? Okay. If anybody's ever seen Les Miserables, there's the couple that are what are they called? I can't remember their names, but there's this couple that are like these Weasley. They're the ones that have the young girl Cosette. They take her, then they have like this pub, but then they hit rock bottom, and they're like constantly striving. They're like Barrow. They're constantly striving, pushing everybody aside to try and make themselves these important people, and they don't care who they step on to get there. And then they're always failing at the same time. But at the very end, it's a spoilery for Les Mis. But it's not a big part of the story. It's not the main part. At the very end, they're the ones picking the riches off the dead bodies. And they're like, we're making money again. We're going to be in the good. And you're like, they always come out on top. They always come out, or at least they always come out successfully. That's Barrow. Barrow is whatever their names are.
One thing I found about that final scene was that, when Nico did go to see him at that moldy apartment or whatever, he basically gave him a chance to pick himself up, go stay in this nicer place, get your life together, lay off the drink, whatever. And I mean, he did that.
He did.
So
yeah. They broke the cycle. There's no sound. I've just got.
Is this you sobbing?
No, I'd just been sobbing.
This
is me realizing what Amy. Realizing that Amy was going to be pissed, and it was just like, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, she's going to be so bad.
I love that.
She's like, oh, I love it so much.
That's amazing. I know the ending. What an ending.
Okay,
You know
What
what's
an
funny?
what was that a reaction to?
To the very ending.
Barrow.
Barrow
Oh, the
being-
ending. Okay.
Yeah, just being like, fuck, Amy's gonna be pissed.
Uh, you know, the thing is, it took me a second because my instant reaction is, oh, that's Barrow. But then I was like, wait, no. Andon, for some reason, I forgot that it was Nico that interviewed him. I thought it was Andon who interviewed him. So I'm like, how does he not recognize Andon? How does Andon not recognize him?
But
Yeah.
I do feel like Barrow must have had an interaction with Andon at some point for him to know who he was. Like, there is no way Barrow wouldn't have known who Andon was
Right.
to be talking, but maybe that was him bragging about it, like being like, I know who you are, but like they're over at the Twice Lucky and da 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 da. And then I was like, the Twice Lucky, it still exists. I'm so happy. But yes, yeah, I was like, I swear that Andon knows who this is. He would have to. But then,
Yeah, no.
no.
Because, well, and I just thought, I forgot that it was Nico that did, and then I remembered, I was like, oh, it was Nico! Andon hasn't ever met him. But,
I swear there was a time when they were younger that they met. But like, you know, given how much time has passed, people
true.
physically change, and he's an like a recovering alcoholic, so he's definitely not going to look like how he was during his prime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Nico finally told him what he needed to hear, that he means so little to the world that his life, yes! Ugh, that felt so good. I can't tell you how much that scene meant to me. I was just yes, on Broadway. Yes. What are their names? It's like that comparison. Those characters, if you ever hate a character like Barrow, then watch Les Mis and think about those characters, because they're same kind of characters. Yeah, that was a great, Paige. That was funny. I'm glad that you were thinking of, and you were worried about me. Thank you. I've seen a lot of people not liking this book because of the time jumps, but I thought it was necessary and I really enjoyed it. It kept the book moving at a good pace. Now, this is the reason that Paige and I both didn't give it a 5-star. One of the reasons.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about it. Because that was a big part of this book.
I don't know if it didn't bother me as much just because, like, we kind of had a warning about it. Like, I kind of knew it was coming. So I was like, okay, that's just how it's going to be.
Theonatus?
Yes. Ugh, but they're the same. Where they're there throughout the whole thing, and at the very end, they're still there. They're still surviving. They're still trying to thrive, just like Barrow. Same little weasels. Yep. Mm-hmm. But they have better song numbers than Barrow did. They have some great songs, they sing. What?
Could you imagine the Green Bone Saga as a musical?
Oh, I've already been thinking about it. Like, I was thinking about the Twice Lucky, like, as like a backdrop. The what do you call that? Like the
Mm-hmm.
The
Like,
stage.
yeah, the stage. Yeah. Okay, so somebody needs to do that.
I would be there.
Turn this into a musical. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It would be 12 hours long.
It would be worth it.
At least the time jumps would flow better.
Yeah. Oh, there was that the time jump scene that really threw me off was where we had just been seeing Nico, and then all of a sudden he's having sex with this girl, and you're like, he's a kid, he's a child. Why? And he wasn't a child anymore. That freaked me out. That definitely was one of those scenes where you're like, oh, yeah.
You haven't laid the character.
Hey, Amy, that's very realistic. Okay, don't blink. That's how quick your kids grow up.
True, very true.
Horrifying. That's It was horrifying.
Also, like,
It was like,
Yeah, it
you
was,
know,
it was kind of jarring.
she's not skilled at sex scenes. We know that throughout this whole series. Like, that is not Fonda Lee's strength. Sex scenes are not her strength. They are icky.
It's very utilitarian.
I don't know if I told you guys. I can't remember what we did, but I said to Ash, like, there was a particular sex scene that I'm like, I am so bloody uncomfortable right now. Like, I can't deal with this. I am dying. And so Ash grabbed and I read it out to him, and he's like, and we're like reenacting it, but in like, what scene was it? Oh, it must have been when Rue was dancing at the nightclub.
You were reenacting it?
We're recreating it, so I would read it out and be like, so like, yeah, it was basically like she tried to push her body up against him, so Ash is like, and then he grabbed it and was like reading out a section, but as like the guy from the parrot that is Iago in Aladdin.
Oh, yeah, what's his name? What was his name? What was that guy's name?
Gilbert Godfrey.
Godfrey. Yeah, Gilbert Godfrey.
And then he went and grabbed a Katie Robert and started doing it to that.
They're like, don't.
Just don't in my ears. I can't. But yeah, like, no, not reenacting the sex scenes, but like just them trying to dance in the nightclub and the way that it was described. It was just like so awkward. It's like she didn't know how to move their bodies unless they were using Jade.
I guess
the way she described like them moving with the Jade and using the lightness and being able to jump and all of that. So amazing.
Yeah.
No Jade, no sex.
Yeah, I don't know if was she intentionally making the sex scenes awful? they were just icky. Like you said, clinical, and Danielle, that feels like they were I don't even know if they were clinical, because I've read other books where it's just, I don't know, it felt icky. It felt like we were voyeurs looking into this gross, like, I don't know, there was just something weird about her sex scenes.
I just found the scene itself.
Asher, let's do another reenactment.
Hey, Ash. He might be playing Final Fantasy.
We require your assistance.
Junie's breath pressed against him, and the scent of her perfume sweat filled his nose and rose into his brain. And so he like pressed into me, and then was like,
that was when Rue was with Junie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is right at that. So you're going from that
to what happens
to that. But she knows how to play with your emotions, because you're completely disgusted with life, and the next minute you're crying.
Yeah. That was worse than Lan. Honestly, that was worse than Lan.
Lan was worse than me.
I didn't actually cry over Rue until the funeral, and when Shay was it Shay told Tia? Yeah, they like tossed the flowers down on his casket.
Oh,
and she's like, "Oh, I'm sure Lan will be so glad to see him." And like, I would,
I can't remember where I cried the hardest.
I cried harder at that part. I cried definitely harder at that part, but I did cry when it first happened. Oh, I was just of that.
Huh?
I think
any of that.
Where did I?
I feel like Tia was like my spirit animal. Like, that is my girl, Tia. She's like, why all this?
She's so
all
cute.
This fighting? Like, why do we have to be so mean? Like, can't everybody just get along? And
I can totally picture Tia as your spirit.
I really like her a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I think Rue was my spirit. And well, not when he was a kid, when he was older. When he was older, I was like, oh yeah, that's me. That's Rue. I'm Rue. I'm Rue.
I don't think I had anyone that
Didn't have any spirit. Whatever.
No. And maybe that's why I struggled, like not struggled with the last of the series, but like it didn't have that. Because I'm bits of everyone.
Yeah,
Like,
true.
I can be very Hilo, I can be very Wen, I can be very Shay, I can be very Lan and Andon, but I'm not always all the good bits as well. Like there's but I'm like, I don't know. I'm more like Ike Marta. If I'm going to take over the world, I'm going to, be strategic about it for the next 20 years and then come out on top.
Yeah, I'm definitely like Rue then.
I'm a bit too lazy.
Realistically.
So
Maybe I'm Barrow.
No!
I'm just along for the ride. No. I'm just along for the ride. I'm just doing what gets me through.
Okay,
And
sorry.
it doesn't matter if it's good, bad, or ugly. Like, there's no other character that just is along for the ride that isn't trying to put some moral principle in.
Well, Andon was like that for a while. No, he had his moral principles.
Yeah, he was. And
Nico
that's the thing.
Nico would have been like that if he had a choice.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just interesting. Like,
did you like, were you devastated, Paige, whenever Hilo died?
no.
Okay. So my reaction,
Well, I was.
my reaction,
I cried.
I was upset. Like in my actual like real life, I was upset over Hilo in the book. Like after I was done reading the book, like,
Yeah.
and so it just
It colored your day.
Yeah, it really just solidified how he stayed like my character, like through the whole thing. Because like I was pro Hilo, like even when Hilo was acting like a asshat, you know. Man.
There was a time that he wasn't. Sorry.
Oh my gosh, I thought Hilo was actually. Well, Hilo was one of my favorite characters too. He was one of my favorite.
I know. I'm just the devil's advocate.
I adored him.
I loved how complex he was. He was so fast.
That was the thing so the ending where I was all red-faced, I'd been crying over Hilo's death, but the thing is I was more mad at Fonda Lee for making me cry over a character I fucking hated for most of the books than actually being upset, like, because I was like, I am devastated.
That's why we give the 5 stars. That's why we give the 5 stars. Yeah.
Let's see.
I was so mad.
Yeah, I mean, so the reason I say Rue was more difficult than Lan was mostly because I was surprised by Rue, and I really ended up liking Rue more than I thought I was going to like him when I first met him, when he was a kid. I didn't like him as a kid, but as he grew up, I liked him a lot, and he was just so fresh. He was so fresh. He was so young. He had so much hope. He brought so much happiness to the people around him. He brought so much joy to his family, and he had such good intentions. Like, he was Andon with the morals, but also the good intentions, and trying to figure out ways to bring everything together, and he was able to. And Lan was already going through so much shit when he died. So, like, with Lan, I was devastated, and I was shocked. But at the same time, Rue was just, it's just that he was so innocent in a lot of ways. Whereas Lan was...
I highlighted this bit about Rue because I felt like it said what I had been trying to say in one of my clips. It said Rue was not a green bone or an heir to the clan's leadership. He was not a threat or an obstacle to anyone. All he had been was Hilo's son. Like, Rue was born in that family without the Jade abilities, and like he didn't walk around with like a chip on his shoulder. Like, he like had fully like accepted that and was just doing the best that he could with the hand that he had been dealt, and like had every intention of taking his role in the clan, like even if it was on Ship Street or whatever. Like, he like accepted his lot, and he was just Rue was such a good kid.
He was like
This
me.
is why you don't
He
get
was
attached
such a
to
good
characters.
He was better than me, but
He was such a good kid.
but like, yeah, I agree. And I always expected him to have, I always kind of like, he's got to have some resentment deep down, some resentment, even resentment towards his brother for leaving because we had the ability to be a green bone. He never had resentment, not once. There were times when he was frustrated because he's like, we have a legacy we have to upkeep.
Yeah, he's
But it
like,
was
what are you
never because
doing?
he was resentful because he was a stone eye. He was never resentful of that. And his mom was,
His
but
mom
he
was so
never
hard on him.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And I just
she put that on him.
and he didn't let
She
it. He
projected
never
so
let it
much.
stop him, though.
Well,
But I do find he was still a bit of a fucking idiot.
Well, yeah, he was the same kid that pulled his brother to go watch Otto, and shouldn't have.
And it's like, maybe don't call for a draw or shit. Like, just, yeah, I don't know. Is there other things we could do in this situation, maybe? Like, I feel, and I know that the justification was he felt like there was nothing else he could do in that moment to save Grace. That's what he had to do. But I'm just also like, but maybe could we have thought about what the fuck we're wearing and actually remove things before getting into a fist fight? You know, like,
So innocent. He was so.
and that's the thing. He was too innocent to be doing the actions that he did.
Yeah.
Like, because he didn't think about it in a larger scheme of things. Like, Hilo would never, well, Hilo wasn't a stoner, but he wouldn't have ever, if he was going into a duel, he wouldn't have taken anything that could have been used as a weapon if it wasn't the specified weapon on him.
Yeah.
Because he's a trained warrior, he knows this shit, but Rue wasn't.
Yeah.
And it's like, but if you just think, but then we wouldn't have the plot progression that we did. And I think that's why I still didn't end up loving Hilo, because the actions that Hilo made at the end were to honor Rue. It wasn't because Hilo wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Like he did.
I don't think that takes away from it. Like, for me, it does.
But it's like I can't find it as validating enough for all of the other shit that he's put everyone through. That's not it's like putting a band-aid on it and going, look, I did a good thing because my son died. Like, maybe internalize that and actually like sit and grow. No? Okay. Because his interactions with Wen and all of that afterwards was still the same. Like, he didn't change. He just started doing things in Rue's honor, which I'm like, I get, because parents, I'm not a parent, will never understand that capacity and that love. But, like, still a misogynistic dickhead.
I know. I filmed my reaction to chapter 40 because I was like, I think Paige wants me, and maybe you didn't want me to film it for the reason why I thought you wanted me to film it, but I filmed it because he was being super misogynistic to Jaya at that point, and I was like, oh, I know why Paige wants me to film this.
I think that was just when things were ramping up and like it was starting to happen. Because the main reason I mentioned it was for when Thingamabobby gets punched in the throat. Like, that was near to there. So that's what I was like, you want to be filming for that. But I'm going to say, like, go a little bit earlier just so then you can get the scope. But.
Aitmata fought till the end. I give her that. She really did.
I love Aitmata. I think she's
a solid,
psycho.
She's consistently crazy. I feel like I didn't get enough Ant in this book. Yeah, and the other reason I didn't give it a 5-star is because a lot felt so incomplete. That whole storyline was too incomplete for me. That was frustrating for me. I kept waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for, even if they weren't going to end up together, that was fine. But, like, I wanted some resolution to that. There was no resolution. It just kind of...
Wasn't it at the hospital when he pulled his hand away and he was like, oh, okay, this is not what he wants?
No, it was...
2 scenes later, we're with...
Well, that scene,
that's not...
we were kind of led to believe that because he held this you know, very held all this responsibility in the clan now. That's why he had to be like extra careful. So even
Right.
then we were kind of still given that like thread of hope that like,
Right.
oh, he might be with Andon
I
if
sort of
even
just gave
yeah.
up on it. I was just like, oh, fuck it.
Oh, I didn't, because that was a storyline that I wanted to see all the way through, and that frustrated me because Lot was made to be an important character in this series. Like, he's not as important as the family, but he becomes the
He was
horn.
an
Lot was
honorary member.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. But I
And
also feel like he did have his own family at the end, but you just
but
whether that was fulfilling for him or not, the other side of things. But that's sometimes what happens with queer characters is they're bi or they're in the closet and still have a family, and that's the choice that they make.
he didn't get married though.
I thought he did. I thought he got married
married and
and
he got
had kids.
divorced. No, he got married and he got divorced right away. He never had kids.
Oh. Who the fuck was I reading about then?
The thing that not Otto. It was the other guy, Corey.
Oh, that's who. Yeah.
The other thing that frustrated me with Lot's storyline is that I'll go back to that later. He was so adamant against being a greenbone. He was the biggest outspoken person about against being a greenbone. And granted, he takes on this role of going in and being really like into the greenbone because his dad died and he had to take over for the family. But we never went back and like his personality doesn't just change because he had this family situation. Like we never went back and like talked about any of that again. Like I felt like that
we did.
When?
I thought we did. There was something with Lot where he had to decide kind of like what his story was going to be, and he had to decide that he was going to be a part of the clan and be a Greenbone warrior like in that way. And because I remember Nico, or I think Hilo even had a conversation. There was some conversation that was had where there was like a comparison to Lot and like how he had kind of shifted his feelings and made a choice, you know?
It was so surface level. Like we didn't like that. I
yeah.
feel like that part of his personality doesn't go away. So all of that was made to be such a big deal in the first book. Like why didn't we then later on he comes back and says, I didn't want this, or he said, he did say things like, oh, was it worth it? I don't know. But like that personality that Lot had initially, like where did that go? Like he didn't just all of a sudden he did all of a sudden change because he had to, but I feel like there wasn't much there. There just wasn't much there. I feel like he was a not fully realized character for me. I guess this is something that I feel very strongly on my own, and that's okay. But that is part of the reason why I didn't give this one a 5-star. So many good characters died in this series. Talking about it is bringing back all my feelings. Yeah, that's tough. Okay, I wanted to cry just talking about all this. Apparently I have a lot of grief for these characters. Yeah. Fonda has a way of endearing you to her characters, even Aitmata. I understood why she chose to do the things she did. Oh, totally.
Do we still have like full understanding of why she chose to do the things that she did?
No.
I don't think we did.
But I think she means
I do understand the
why she continued. Yeah. Like why she continued to do it, but no.
But like part of it, and I think that was one thing that I really loved about this was the fact of the legacy. The fact that Hilo and her were like, we are fighting to the fucking death. We are going to continue to do shit, even if you claim for peace. Even if the kids are like, yeah, we're happy-go-lucky, love everyone. I'm going to fucking kill this bitch.
We've got some loose ends to tie up.
That was not ending.
No, because there's still a hatred.
She had to. She was left in the thing, wasn't she? And stripped of Jade.
Which was actually rather disrespectful to her, too. So I actually kind of thought it was an appropriate ending. It was just the way that Nico kind of just, like...
He did the same thing to her that he did to Barrow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. He lessened her power is what he did. Yeah.
He made her
Yes, but
insignificant.
you didn't see the body, so she didn't die, so she can still come back, even though we've ended.
There's actually a clip in my vlog that says "Show me the bodies." I think
Yeah,
I'm gonna stick that at
100%.
the beginning. Like,
Just think about Mike Tarr, Tar, whatever his name is. He was ostracized. You know, he was, what do you call it? What's the word? And yet he did have
Exile.
a huge exile. Thank you. He had a huge impact at the very end. So, like,
Fuck, that scene just
was very
shook
shocked.
me to my core, and
that was
I
one of my.
loved it. Yeah, 100%. You're just like, and you're like, wait, did he just do what he did? Wait, did he just? Oh,
That was so good.
oh! I was like, oh my god, is my thread still there?
That was one of the most shocking scenes for sure. I mean, I kind of thought it might be coming. Like, I think I predicted in the section before that. I'm like, I think he's going to be a white rat. He's got to be a white rat. He wasn't a white rat, but he was acting as a white rat. It's like, yes, so amazing. It was so good.
And I think I know that there were some people that called it like straight from the gate, but I think she wrote it in a way that it was actually believable. Like when he cropped up again, I was like, oh shit, he really is pissed. Okay. And also I had forgotten that white rats were a thing that existed. So I was just like, yeah, cool, okay, he's pissed. I like this. And the next minute, I'm like, he's punching him through the throat. I'm like, oh good lord.
It was amazing. There was a point in the book where Nico was talking about how Hilo was seriously depressed for a year after Rue's death and wasn't the same. Yeah, he wasn't talking to anybody for like a year, right?
I totally understand that I will never be able to comprehend the losing a child as a parent. Like I will not be able to comprehend that experience. Like, so Hilo could be completely different because of it. But for me, it just didn't feel quite right.
Didn't feel authentic enough.
Yeah. And yeah, it was Corey I was thinking of, not Lote.
I loved and hated each of the characters at different points in the story. I cheered them on and was sometimes disappointed in their actions. It made them even more real / human to me as a result. Yes. I love that. I love characters like that. I know some people don't though. And because
they're not character-driven readers usually.
Right. That's a good point.
Or they need sunshine and rainbows for their books. And it's like, this is not the series for you then.
Yes. Yeah.
And I know, Danielle, you're like, you like making sure your children and your heart is safe, even being a character-driven reader. But if they are fallible...
Oh, yeah. Like, I want to keep it real. Like...
Yeah.
Think about Lot. See, I think Lot had a convo with Hilo about not wanting to be like his dad. I think that is the main reason he was against being a green bone. Yeah. I just want more from him. I had higher hopes for Lot. Let's just put it that way.
Considering how thick this series is, you would think that there could have been a little bit more sprinkled here and there in regards to particular things.
I just really liked who Lot wound up being. He wound up being like somebody steady and somebody reliable and somebody that they could count on and somebody faithful and loyal. And like, I had no doubt about him and his loyalty and his ability to like really have like the call's best interest at heart at all. You know, I never doubted him. And I kind of liked that. I kind of needed like at least one of
someone
those.
like him.
I had a little doubt.
You did.
Well, because I felt like it wasn't resolved. I felt like, well, that anger is still there. That frustration, anger is still. What if he stabs him all in the back? I did think that. For a while. I'm like, we never resolved that. What if he comes back and stabs him all in the back because he hates what Green Bone stands for?
I never thought that.
You're better.
But I also think in the same capacity, I don't necessarily think his intentions were the best things for the calls. He was the best thing for his community. That was his driving force for everything that he did. It wasn't, I need to look after the calls. It's, I need to look after the community. And at the moment, the Call family is going to be the best people to do that. and me being in a position can help with that. Although I'm not going to be the loudest voice, I'm just going to do what they get me to do. But he was one of the advisors. Like, he wasn't always in Hilo's core. Like, that was Shay and Wen. And
that was kind of the vibe I got from Juan, was kind of like what you're saying, Paige.
But I actually liked Gwen more as a Horn. I thought he was much more creative, and I loved what he brought. And so Lot, to me, okay, well, I shipped him and Anvin, and I never got resolution of that. That's probably the main reason why I'm so frustrated with him.
I think also with how 3D most of these characters are, the fact that he is 2D but still quite a prominent character is surprising, because there is so much opportunity for him to be further fleshed out, or for him to be given his own side story somehow, some way, somewhat, but he's not. But he is a prominent member in the last book, so, and was for the second with being the antagonist at the school. Like, so
yeah,
it is. I think that's where a lot of it can come from as well, aside from not having that fulfillment of your ship. But the fact that she does flesh her characters out so well. So why is this one 2D?
Yeah. That's how I felt. That's why I just, the whole time I was reading the book, I'm like, but what about Lot? But what about Lot? What about Lot? Like, I'm like, there's just no resolution. I don't have any. And so that was. I mean, he wasn't the most important character, but I felt like because she was so good at tying up all the loose ends with so many of the other characters and all the other situations, that was one where I was like, okay, so let's just poo-poo on that. And I didn't get any
resolution. Makes me sad because I want
even if they didn't end up together, I wanted more of a conversation rather than him just going, oh no, it's too much of a risk. And then he gets married, but him and his wife divorce after like a really short time. And I'm like, and he's single. He's completely single. He's been single for years and years and years and years and years. Like, what are you setting us up for? Oh, you're setting us up for nothing. Absolutely
maybe
nothing.
It's intentional in the sense that he didn't want to perpetuate the Green Bone legacy. He didn't want to have a wife that he would need to protect and worry about. He didn't want to have kids that he could potentially, that are going to be raised to be Green Bones. So he chose not to. He's
like the Duke from The Duke and I from Bridgerton.
There you go.
We literally were just talking about keeping it real, okay? And like, if we're keeping it real, things don't always tie up with a neat little bow in relationships. Like,
right. Yeah.
My sentimental heart doesn't appreciate that.
That's right. That's right. I'm a romantic.
Really? I hadn't noticed.
Oh, my nose itches.
Oh dear.
Nervous when she got. I knew that was going to happen. No, I wasn't surprised.
I was that was when I started getting emotional. Was
really?
I didn't cry, but I felt my body kind of like reacting to them getting taken, and in my brain I'm thinking like, Wen has already been through this shit once. Like, she had such an extensive and like harrowing recovery, like, and now she's getting tossed back into a situation like that. I was feeling it in my cells on a cellular level. I was feeling it and not liking it at all. Like,
I was sweating like nobody's business, because I don't know. I didn't trust that they were going to stay alive.
Yeah, I didn't either. I thought they were going to die.
But I was also like, there seems to be something more at stake. Like, they can't just, because then shit's going to not go the way that they want it to. But then when Wen got released and she's like, they're not going to release her. You've got to go back. You've got to go. I was fucking shit. I'm mad at them. Like, now I'm panicking for Shay. And oh my God, if Shay dies, I'm going to be fucking dead myself. Yeah. But then her going through the torture,
what Shay went through,
that with the,
I was like,
I was, and because like I've not had withdrawal symptoms badly for any substance abuse or anything, but I know what it's like. You hear the stories of the withdrawal from many different things, and it's like, oh my God, I'm in so much pain for you right now. Please just survive. Please.
I almost don't want them to survive though, because imagine all the pain they're gonna the other guy did
Other
survive.
side. Yeah.
Like he's gonna have the rest of his life where he's just it's horrible.
Did he survive?
Judo guy.
He survived,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Did we hear what happened to him?
Glad he survived. Huh?
He had to
Hospital.
have like medicine for like
Logical.
mental stuff for the whole like rest of his life.
Oh.
Yeah, he was messed up. Like that messed
I don't
him
think
up.
he would have appreciated that.
Mm-mm.
Like the way that he presented himself, it was very much like I would rather die on duty than not be able to serve.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah. Yeah, I almost was kind of detached during that scene. Not when they put the Jade in, but like with when they were getting kidnapped and all that stuff. I think I compartmentalized those feelings. I was like just reading it, and I wasn't like unemotional, but I was definitely like a little detached. And I'm like, what is wrong with me? And I'm like, I think
preservation is what that was.
I kind of save myself from the pain.
Yeah.
This, I agree, Stacey. I agree so much, Stacey. Let's fast forward.
We could have had Barrow's chapters shortened or told from someone else's perspective and seen conversations with Locke instead. We could have. There was enough space, there was enough Barrow presented for it to not be so.
Yeah, Fonda. Where's your picture? Should have a picture in here?
It's on the back, isn't it?
Yeah, Fonda. Oh, mine doesn't have a front on the back.
Oh.
Yeah, Fonda.
Has she written other things?
Oh, I don't know.
She has now. So she's got 2 more short stories at the beginning of, like, before Jade City. And she's written Untethered Sky, which is a novella as well.
Okay.
Hey, look, my memory did a thing successfully. Yeah. That's weird.
Oh.
How did I know that? Thank you, Papa.
I only just got your message.
It's okay. Thank you, my darling.
Oh, I thought he was there for the reenactment.
Oh, Danielle thought you were going to do the reenactment of pressing your body up against me and breathing her perfume sweat through your nostril. I'm
easily entertained.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he's just going, oh, yes. Back to his game.
Oh, yes. What's that scene? And she means when Shay and Wen got kidnapped and Shay was tortured. I was literally on the edge of my seat, like, get her out of. Oh, it was wild. It was wild. Welcome back.
Zero Boxer. What is this?
Yeah,
she wrote a sci-fi novel before.
I didn't even see that. How do you see that? Where do you find that?
Or who?
It's on Google.
Fonda Lee?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not on Goodreads, though.
Yeah, it's on Goodreads.
Really?
Yeah. It was published in 2015.
Oh, I looked up. I didn't look up her.
Jade City isn't her debut.
Untethered Sky. Oh, I see it now. EXO, that one. This one?
No, Zero Boxer.
Oh.
EXO came out in 2017 before. Damn. Yeah, that one. Huh.
It looks like the same cover as Angel Fall.
I 100%. I thought it was the same book when I was looking at it.
I have to make a channel for the new Deborah Harkness book, too.
I'm so excited!
Wait. When are we reading that?
Amy's doing it in August.
July 15th. I'm reading it in August.
Okay.
It's on my Cluedo TBR for July and August, so I can read it either. But if we do it August, that's in between Good Girls Guide, so we could do sprints in a discussion if we wanted to, but obviously don't have to.
Amy's like, I'm here for it.
I'm excited. Jesus,
Yeah, I saw that Paige was going to read it on her her TBR video, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's coming out! I gotta order it. So then I just commented saying, I gotta read that in August. Since I ordered it.
If anyone does watch my TBR video, don't listen to it with the sound up.
Oh, because of the screeching?
Yeah, the actual scream that leaves my soul through it. Yeah, that one.
Let's see. Yeah, she did keep dangling Lot as an option for Andon, though, and there was no definite resolution. I feel that, but Andon has his own relation. Yeah. Drew, whatever his name is. Yeah, he's great. He's fine. Whatever.
I appreciated that they
did.
Huh? He wasn't part of the Green Bone. Like, he was, do not involve me in it. I'm not doing it. But then on the I'm so bad with names and pronunciations. The like helicopter battle place.
Oh,
Cinto.
Human.
Thank you. Because I kept seeing you guys write it as EUMAN, and I was reading it. I was listening to it predominantly, so I still had it as UMAN, not EU. So I'm like, what are you talking about? Oh, that thing. Yeah, for Human Island, and he was there and like had Hilo help, and then he's like, but I don't want to be involved, but also like, thank you for the assistance.
Yeah.
And just being like, okay, yeah, like, thank you.
I mean, I didn't dislike him. I liked him, but there was unrequited love. It was unresolved. Maybe not unrequited love. Unresolved situation.
You're such a hopeless romantic. It's so funny.
I
And then
know.
you just have me being a cynical motherfucker, like, yeah, cool.
I was waiting for Shay to get the itches after that for sure. She did early, didn't she? She said she went crazy, basically.
Because she had to stop wearing Jade.
Okay. Oh, so this is the short story. Untethered Sky was pretty good. I still have to read the last two Deborah Harkness books. Get on it.
What's that fifth book called? Something about a blackbird?
Blackbird Oracle.
Okay. I think I'm going to put that on my Amazon wish list. Maybe somebody will get it for me for my birthday.
Woohoo!
Shameless plug for my wish list. Yeah.
Go for it. I kept calling it Blackbird Chronicle in my TBR video, and I'm like, God damn it, Paige! It's Oracle!
Blackbird
Oracle!
Love that.
I'm a month behind YouTube videos, no TV. Oh, sorry. I'm behind on everything all the time. Oh, all the time. Lot and Andon are the endgame enders. True. Yeah. I thought that Drew, I don't know how to say this guy's name at all. I would never know. I thought that Drew was a great between. He was a great, just like Corey was a great in between. Endgame is Lot and Andon. They've gone through the same stuff. Like, you know.
I really was not feeling the Corey relationship at all.
Mm-mm.
And I loved how his obnoxious sister, like, wound up playing a role there at the end. I was like,
I actually loved that.
Kelly.
I did love how she tied that loose end in, though. I did love that. Like, she ended up, Fonda Lee made that character have to help them, even though she was so against helping them. Like, she still.
Yeah, because she had been after that, a Norco guy. What was it? Art Wiles? Wasn't that who she was after? The Art Wiles guy?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Or was she after the GSI guy? Was she after Somu or Sunto? Was she after Sunto?
She was after both of them, I think.
Yeah.
She was after anyone that wasn't following the law.
No, it was Jorgen Gasson. She was after Art Wiles and Jorgen Gasson.
The boss guy.
Who was who?
Gasson.
Jorgen Gasson was the crew boss for the Baker Street crew, and he became somebody in politics later on. He became.
Yes, I remember that. No, yep, we're good. But yes, yeah, because I was. So the audiobook narrator did a really, really good job, but there was 3 characters that he kept the same voice for. Because there were so many, there are only so many voices you can do. And they were all minor characters, but that was a problem because I was thinking the minor characters were involved in different things than they actually were, because I was like, no, that's, this person's voice and this is this person's voice.
I've definitely had that happen when I listened to audiobooks before, where I'm like, wait a minute, how are they there too? Wait, they're not there too. Who's that?
And then, and usually I'm pretty good at like having it separated, but because there was so much going on, I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if this person just rocked up over here. The CSI, Espenian that took in the Agent M person.
Yeah. No, that was different. That wasn't Jorgen.
Yeah. So that guy's voice was the same as the guy you're talking about.
Yeah, Jorgen Jaffa. Yeah.
And so I was like,
Got it.
I was confused, but okay.
Got it. Okay. They definitely had unresolved feeling.
I'm like obsessed with that cover. Oh,
Which one?
I love that
Blackbird?
a lot. The Blackbird Oracle cover. It's so me.
I'm doing this whole
Was I off topic?
No, but that was a long time that you were just staring at that cover.
I know. It's just. Well, I was trying to figure out if I should pick the hardback. I should pick the hardback, right? Because that's what's going to come out first? Or how does that work?
They're both coming out at the same time, is what it looks like.
Then the.
Not by much.
But hey, if it's cheaper, it's
But
I don't own any
is,
of them, so I'm not buying it. But
my regular copies are the softback.
I don't think they're gonna match to any of them. So
better.
I think I ordered
the paperbacks. Yeah, mine are tall paperbacks.
Okay, you American publishing is weird. Like, this is what Australia gets. Oh God, I don't have the inches on this.
Here's my mass market paperback size.
19.5 centimeters.
Oh, 19.5. I don't know centimeters. Let me see.
I don't know inches.
Okay, hold on. I think I have centimeters on this. So hold on. I do. Okay. Mine's 21 centimeters.
Yeah. So yours are just like that little bit taller than ours.
Yeah,
but this is all we get. We don't ever get these. We don't get these.
Oh.
These don't exist.
That's pretty.
This was random chance that I fucking found in a store.
Bags?
Huh? No hardbacks.
That's so pretty.
Don't exist. Thank you. It is.
Ooh,
These are mass markets. They're little.
Yeah, the mass markets are okay. Like, we don't not get hardcovers in Australia, but it's the ordering them in is the first like.
I feel like we still have some talking points. I want to get back to.
We will. It's just brain has gone on rabbit hole. Oh,
it's probably my fault. I'm like Blackbird Oracle. Oh,
it's so pretty.
Giving up matching all my series. It's too much work. I just hate when they're not the same size. Like, if it's not the same cover, I don't mind as much as I hate when they're like, when you're trying to put them together and one's like this and one's small. I just can't. It just drives me nuts. I mean, I have some like that, but I don't like it.
I have chosen to, not not be as rigid with that. I'm kind of with Alicia, like not to say it's too much work, but I'm not letting that steal my enjoyment,
That's
like
good.
if they don't match.
It makes it hard to shelf things sometimes. Because sometimes I have to shelf books based on their size. Yeah, Paige, that's horrifying. Actually, it looks kind of cool.
But it's
That's
number
like a
1,
ladder.
2,
It
and
should be like
3.
that.
Yeah.
It's stair steps.
That's not so
Yeah.
bad. Yeah.
But I've had it where it's that
Yeah.
before, and that hurts.
Well, and it's mostly because, like, my shelves have gotten too full. I'm starting to put things based on if they're hardback or if they're softback, and then the same sizes together because it's easier to stack them strategically to take up space. And so then if they're in the same series, they get separated, and I don't like that. That's no. So do you have to wait? Yeah. Ugh, it's ugly. The paperback released in Australia, or does it come out day one as paperback, Paige?
Paperback. Usually. Yeah.
It looks like a ladder pager. I like that.
July 20th.
Oh, so soon.
It's coming up on my trip. And steps, not ladders. So yeah, okay, steps. That's what I meant to.
Yeah, we mostly just get the paperback as the initial release. Yes.
That's right. Me and Alicia were like sisters from the Nether Misters or something.
So, did you at any point feel a little overwhelmed by how much was going on in this book towards the end?
I think I got overwhelmed. I just zoned out.
Because I was still starting to feel, maybe because I had to read it so quickly, or like when I did finally pick it up, I picked it up and then I put it down because I was busy reading other things, and I picked it up, and then when I finally like had to cram through it, I just felt like there was so much coming at me that I would rather have read this over another month.
It was a lot, and like
when
it was really evident was when I was trying to do my vlog clips and like trying to relay like what had just gone down, and I'm like, yeah, it was this thing, but also it was this thing, and over here we had this thing, and I hope you're still following. Yeah, let me draw you a little map with some arrows and some like breadcrumbs for you to follow.
And then Charlie with the red string being like,
yeah, it was a lot.
It was a lot.
It was a lot.
It was.
And I was just like, wow, there's just so much to shove into this one. I mean, it's not even this one book. It's a 3-book series, but so much happens in this that it was like, yeah, there was times when I was not overwhelmed, but almost like my brain was like white noise because it was just too much.
I'm done for the day. There is no comprehension remaining.
Basically.
I am existing. I am reading. The words are wording. That is the extent of what's currently happening in my novel. But that was, not every time, but
it was definitely a lot all at once. I feel like she could have made another book and it would have been better. Yeah, and then we could have included my lot story. my
One-track minded?
I suppose, yeah, because if we had made it 4 books, we wouldn't have had to have, or like, we could have spaced it out more and not have as many time jumps.
And we could have just kept Hilo alive.
He had to die. And I loved Hilo, don't get me wrong, but he had to die. We knew he had to die. He's the end of that legacy. Like, he had to. Like, that was such an appropriate death. Lands, I don't know.
Do you want to talk about your feelings about Sunto? Because you didn't like him.
I did not like him.
You really didn't like him.
No, I did not.
Can you articulate kind of those feelings?
He was such a hypocrite. I didn't like that he was such a hypocrite. He was an awful like the fact that I mean, granted, Gila was the one who initiated this friendship with him, but the fact that he spent so much time basically spying on the Greenbones, saying they were friendly, and then he took all that information and he went to create his own. I'm like, you are like that was shallow and low, and yet he still held this self-righteous belief that his way was the right way and that the Greenbones were a dying thing and they were all so antiquated. I'm like, you lived in Kikon for that long. You were close to people within the the No Peak clan, and yet your opinions are still so like I don't know. His self righteousness pissed me off, and the fact that he was super hypocritical pissed me off. He pissed me off left and right, and then he had the gall to be angry at Hilo every single time Hilo was like, "You're being hypocritical and stupid," and he's like, "I'm mad at you, Hilo. You shouldn't be doing these things. I'm in the right here," and I'm like, "You're not in the right. You're a dick."
Tell
So
us how you really feel.
so you know how you would have like rewritten the story and made it to where Lot and Andon like they were a thing, like that actually happened? Okay, do you remember like why Sunto like named his business what he did? There was like this story about this prince that was
Which is a Keegan story. Like it's
a lost prince. Yeah, it was like part of their heritage or whatever. Like I was thinking like what if he was like the long lost prince and he's going to come back and like the clan, that's why the clans aren't even going to be a thing anymore, because the real like rulers have returned and like yeah, obviously
it
that didn't
didn't go that
happen,
way.
but my brain went there and found it very
That's fair.
intriguing.
That's fair.
He didn't even believe in all the Keeganese like
He was a
bull.
truth bearer,
He was a
whatever
truth
that
bearer.
means.
He was a Spenian through and through, and yet he came. Like, why did you come to Kikon then? Like, if you feel so strongly about that, then why did you even bother coming to Kikon to begin with? Like, ugh, ugh, God, I just can't stand characters like that.
Again, tell us how you really feel.
Yeah, it was definitely like, you know, he had like burned some bridges or something. Like,
Because he's that self-righteous personality
are
who's
you
super
just like,
critical. Yeah, people like that drive me nuts. Although I didn't hate his character. It wasn't like with Lot where I was disappointed that that story didn't feel. And I guess the reason why I'm focused so much Lot and like that's all I can think about is because that's the main character in my mind that I didn't feel resolution with. I felt like in every other character I was quite satisfied with how it ended at the end of the series. That was the one character, and so it just plays in my head over and over again that that's the one character that we didn't get the resolution that I not even that I wanted. If he didn't have to go the direction that I wanted him to go in, but I wanted some kind of resolution. And I just feel like I was constantly like, well, are we gonna clear that loose end up? Are we gonna give him a little bit more character? Are we gonna do something with him? And so I guess the reason why I keep harping on it is because that's the only area where I really felt unsatisfied.
would you have felt some resolution if she had also killed him off?
Might as well have.
I I
No,
when we first met Sunto, I was like, man, like this character feels so familiar. Like, is this guy gonna be the next Roan Toro? Because I was really wrecked in the second book
I
when
totally, yeah.
like
Yeah.
that to me was like a huge loss. I loved his character. And yeah, for a second I was like getting my hopes up thinking like, "Oh, we're going to get a replacement." But we didn't. Not the same at all.
No, I liked Montoro, and no, he was. I don't remember Sunto. Yeah, well, good. I remember him, and apparently my feelings are very strong about him. He was the ex-army guy that was going to train the Green Bones. And yeah,
Yeah.
no, Hilo didn't have to
He
die.
was
Blast
the ex-Espinian Navy Angel. That's what he was.
jerk.
And he trained people who did not have natural like Jade abilities to be able to tolerate Jade.
I think in general, and this is true for, and I don't necessarily hate characters like Jim Santo as like a character. I just hate that person. I have a really hard time in, or I feel very strongly about characters that are very self-righteous and yet hypocritical. I can't stand that. It's true for, I'm gonna go back to Les Mis, like Javert is a very self-righteous character. If you think about Hunchback of Notre Dame, that cardinal guy, that scary, freaky, the worst, he's like the worst, scariest guy in all of Disney villains.
He's petrifying.
He was super self-righteous and hypocritical. Like, anytime you get a character that is super self-righteous and hypocritical, I have a hard time with that. I mean, I like them. I like them as characters. I find them fascinating, but I'm also going to hate them. Like, for the core of my being.
But you like Hilo.
I don't think he's self-righteous, and he may be hypocritical, but I don't think he's super self-righteous.
He didn't let his wife help.
I was thinking that
because he was like, I must be protector man. I know best for everyone. Everything is right and I am never wrong. How is that not self-righteous?
It's not the same. Sorry, Paige, it's not the same. I understood Hilo's motivations were very clear all the time.
It was either driven by emotional family to do the best by family. I get that, whereas Sunto's was for money.
Yeah, and for things that he felt very strongly about, but at the same time, his morals were, like Hilo said, you're saying you're doing this based on your morals. Your morals are very, like, you can't say that you're doing this for your morals, then turn around and do this other thing that's completely unmoralistic. Like, yeah. What were you gonna say, Danielle? Sorry.
I think I was just gonna say that that was one thing about Sunto, was that he kind of had some like attitude where Hilo was concerned. Like he never like showed Hilo like the respect what he was used to getting, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they got along just fine at first, but
they did. I think, Amber, that I can say I really liked Hilo as a character, but I still think he had to die. It had to happen. Sorry. We can agree to disagree. I mean, who else would you have killed? You had to kill somebody else, like one of the main players.
Mata.
Kill Shay?
Mata.
No, she doesn't count. I'm talking about within the Call family. Would you have killed Shay? Would you have killed Andon? Or Hilo?
I mean, why couldn't Hilo have lived if Mata had died?
Because that's not
as interesting.
No, and they've got to always have that. They're the two that clash. Neither of them can win. So they both have to die.
Gotta have balance.
It's like, as much as I don't like doing the comparison, neither can live while the other survives. It's like, Mata is the Horcrux for Hilo. Like,
I mean, you could have killed Mata, but I don't think it would have been as dramatic or given as much, like, the emotional impact at the end of this wouldn't have been as strong.
Like, didn't Hilo die by sacrificing himself or something?
He saved Ado because he perceived that penitent was going to draw.
Yeah.
Well, he pushed Nico back, so he knew he was going to get shot by doing that. Or he pushed Nico back with his deflection.
Yeah. But, like, isn't that the whole, like, oh my god, he's so heroic, he sacrificed himself. Woo.
Like, Ado said that Hilo saved his life.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, isn't that tally point to Hilo doing something right for the greater good? Woo.
Yeah, no, exactly. Don't sound so excited.
Don't sound so resentful that Fonda Lee is making you like a character you've detested this entire series. Because they do one self-sacrificing thing and it fucking kills them and you're like, righty, oh damn, this bloody bitch.
I would never have picked up this series on my own. I would have shied away from all the politics, but I'm so glad I read it. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that, Stacey. Because it is a lot of politics. My mom, I don't know if she would make it through the whole series because it's a lot of.
Yeah, I think if I had been reading it on my own and I read that first book, I would have been like, nope, I'm done. Not for me.
Not continued. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. I was about to say that. Tell me how you really feel. Sometimes when I have strong feelings, I have strong feelings. Jeremy got, yep. I know, I was kind of like, I'm shipping them now.
Amy.
It's
Not everyone needs to be shipped.
They do. Why not? Why not? Everybody wants to be happy, right?
It's not Bridgerton.
It sounded
No,
like-
not everyone is happy. It is a depressing series. More people will die than live happily ever after.
Okay, so like when Atto was like, do you have a girlfriend? I was like, oh, he's going to suggest that they get married so that they can bring the clan together. I'm like, this is perfect. This is perfect. He's like my cousins. I'm like, oh, screw that. That's not interesting. Obviously, Nico's not interested in anybody. So, let's just leave him like that then.
It sounded like Atto thought that, he was going to give it a go, but it seemed like he thought that eventually No Peak was going to absorb the mountain.
Yeah.
That's the intention.
For sure. But yeah, no, it was good to see them come together and at least have a cordial relationship. And it showed that even though both clans had come to this point where so much of what they were doing was based on revenge and anger at each other and hatred, that the next generation could just put it all aside because they really weren't there when that happened. It didn't affect them in the same way. It affected their family line, but it didn't affect them as individuals, and they weren't going to let that stop them from being able to be leaders, do what they need to do. And
at the same time, they also had a common enemy to work together to build those ties.
Agreed.
And then you're like, you can't have a fractious country if they're wanting to expand to a global sphere, because you have to show a united front against different countries. Otherwise, they're just going to come on in and stomp all over you.
Yeah. I feel like, speaking of that, I feel like the slow war ended kind of anticlimactically. I expected a lot more to happen at the end of the slow war to be like this. It just feels like all of a sudden it was over and people were running with their tails between their legs, but there was no actual big... I kind of expected a big thing to happen.
I didn't fully understand what they were calling the slow war. Like, I don't...
This whole thing between Yucatan and Espinia. This whole thing that was between these two main countries. That everybody was pulled in so much throughout the way. And then at the end, it's just kind of like, oh, well, it's over. And I'm like, but... we built so much up. We built so much of that up the whole time. I just said that word so many times. Those words. But then it kind of just, in this book, it kind of just, okay, the war is over. And Espinia, or Igutania, whatever it's called, they basically lost.
I think because they breached particular things with the whole torture of the Espenian spies and whatever.
Yeah.
They were like, no, this is not okay. You can't be in a position of power, so we're going to allocate all of this land and resources and shit, and you need to pull your head out of your asses or you will face some serious fucking global consequences. Which, I mean, that would be fair to how a war realistically would end. If someone's breached some human rights thing, they would go, fuck no, you're done. Sit your ass down or you're going to pay for shit.
Yeah.
The,
Which is not very climactic, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the slow war has not been climactic in any capacity.
No, you're right.
the AI like search thingy on Google. I typed in what is the slow. Oh, maybe I hang on. Let me fix my spelling.
Oh no, that was the Many Nations War. The Slow War started before.
Yeah, this is saying it's a political war between the mountain and No Peak.
No, the Slow War was between. Is that what it's considered? The Slow War was the one between Igutan and Espinia. Because they explained how it ended. They did explain how it ended. And you're right, Paige. It was about like because of the Nabokov whatever being found out. But the one with the great grandparents, that was the Many Nations War.
Maybe.
AI is confused.
Probably.
Alicia says, "Look, we might need a romance series to start the next year because this year is some heavy hitters serious series." Yeah, Amy needs romance apparently in her life.
Yeah, no, the slow war is between Espinia and Yucatan.
Okay, yeah.
It's not just clan war and foreign competition.
They got pulled into it because No Peak was supporting Espinia and Mountain was supporting Igutan.
Yeah.
And so they definitely, that's why they were big parts of it. But it really, the main part of the war was between Igutan and Espinia. And then it just kind of ended very quietly. And it was just strange to me. I do feel like since Hilo died, I should have been killed too. She has picked herself up from the ashes so many times before. Who's to say she doesn't find a way to do it again? Yeah, I agree. And I think that that's the beauty of it, is that that threat is still there.
Yeah, it's the Many Nations War between the clans.
Yeah. And Shotar. The war was between Kikon and Shotar, and that was where the clans did all their like guerrilla warfare and became the one mountain clan or whatever.
Which is referencing into World War II sort of dynamics, but the slow war is in reference to the Cold War.
Oh, that makes sense then. Okay. That makes sense.
But it's kind of funny because for me, the dynamics would be that the slow war would be like World War II with many different people involved. And then the clan wars are the Cold War because that's only between a particular chunk of people. But yeah, that's just what the comparisons are online. So,
what do you think? Do you think that Ait should have died?
Nah.
I
don't think it would have been. I think it would have been dissatisfying, like too easy.
I think, like, especially with Andon going in there, like, he could have just channeled and took her out, and like, it didn't have to be any big spectacle. Like,
but he wouldn't. He refused to take another life through using Jade. That was his whole pledge when he became the Doctor, is he will never use Jade to take a life again. He will only use it to save. So he would have gone against his grain to
the whole main reason I think why they weren't taking her out was because of like whatever potential supporters she still had. Like they would use her as a martyr and
that's exactly
stuff.
And I think also on top of that, like they had shown good faith by not killing her when they had the opportunity to, even when part of the mountain was calling for her head. But they respected that and said, no, we said that we're not going to, so we're going to hold to that. And maybe in like 20 years, someone can whisper her name while she's living far away. But
see that I could see that happening. Like, when people have kind of forgotten about her, somebody will whisper her name and they'll just go secretly, quietly kill her. And
the
she's
thing
in
is,
exile, so who's gonna think
if
about
it
her?
was 20 years from the end, she would have been 80. Like, you might as well just let her die of old age at that point.
True. Well, if Hilo had been alive, he would have killed her. Like, no matter what.
Yeah.
If Hilo had been alive, he absolutely would. He could not live in a world where Aitmata was alive.
Yeah.
And, but in the end, he decided to save the people that were the future.
Yeah, whatever.
Heroically.
I just love playing devil's advocate with this character. It's so fun for me because normally we're all just like, oh my god, this person, and oh my god, that person, and like we are all like synchronized with our feelings. And I'm like, fuck Hilo, and you two are like, I love Hilo, and I'm like, fuck Hilo.
I think it's fun to egg you on too.
Oh yeah, 100%. But like vice versa. You should have known not to get attached to any character.
I loved Rue though. I mean,
and you're paying the heartfelt consequences for it.
I'm okay with them killing some of the other characters off. Like, let's just, not Rue.
You didn't kill Wen.
Yeah. She took a bit of a back seat in this. Once she got hurt, she took kind of a back seat. Not that she wasn't there. It was really cool that she got to be Pillarman, but she really wasn't the focus anymore. She was a lot more of the focus in book 2, and I loved that. And then she really, was kind of a shell of herself for a long time in this book. And she was there. She was an important role, but they didn't focus on her as much as they did in the second book. And so, not that I wasn't still attached to her, but I wasn't attached to her the same way I was in the second book. I was much more affected by her first almost dying versus when she got kidnapped this time. I mean, I was affected by it, but not nearly as much as the first time. Maybe I was desensitized.
Of course this was going to happen.
Expected it. Gosh, I loved that scene though where Mike Tar ripped out that guy's throat. That was so good. I was giddy. So sick. What's wrong with me?
Do you know what made me absolutely just cheer? Was when Wound's wife ripped Shay a new one. I was like, fuck yes. Like, I love Shay, but I think that whole
it was awful
dynamic.
I think I have that quote highlighted. Hang on.
Just yes.
It was great. It was a great scene. As much as I love Shay, that was deserved. It was totally deserved.
It was 100% deserved.
Totally deserved.
Yes, it made me so happy. Just being like, yes, good, excellent.
This was a big ordeal. This series was a big ordeal. It was fantastic. 5-star series, but it took a chunk out of me.
Mm-hmm. How do we feel about Thingy saving?
Do what?
Aitmata. Like how many times Andon and Shay actually saved Aitmata?
Yeah, it was back to back times.
Yeah.
Here's that quote. Wound's wife paused and turned back around slowly, as if the question surprised her. Call Shaylin son, weatherman of No Peak, she said. You can fuck off and die.
I really loved Wound and Shay together, but
me too. Just not the way it went.
They could have handled that so much better. And the fact that she'd been miscarrying so much, my heart was breaking for her. And then Wound's gone and shacked up with Shay, and I'm like, well, that's a dick move right there, but okay. And they had cute little Tia that was born of just sunshine and rainbows.
She was little Danielle.
She was so cute. Just like, I like tutus and rainbows and happiness. Why do people have to fight? Because they gotta. Well, no, I am sad.
Going back to what you asked, Paige, I thought it was very interesting that Andon was like, no, we have to kill her. Like, he was really struggling with the fact that Shay wanted to save Aitmata, and considering how Andon was so against killing after he'd had that experience, and yet he felt so strongly with the clan and against Aitmata that he was like, we have to kill her. Like, we can't let her, we can't, I'm not going to bring her back. Or he did bring her back, but like, he was so against it.
Save her.
Yeah. And Shay over and over and over and over and over and over again would do this. She would do this where she would make these choices based on feeling guilty, but then it would put the rest of her family in danger over and over and over again. As much as like shit, like, piss me off.
Shay and Mata really had that kind of relationship, like what Paige was talking about earlier, about like one not being able to live if the other survived or something like that. Like, to me, those two were like so intertwined. Like, just all of their, every time they would run into each other at the temple, and just
but it would frustrate me that
battle.
Yeah. It would just frustrate me that Shay was willing to put the safety of her family or other people's lives. And it was Aitmata a lot, but it was also Dorupan and other people. Like, she was willing to put the safety of her family's lives, or to put her guilt for killing those people who needed to be killed above the safety of the whole clan, let alone her family. And every time, there was not one time that it didn't come back to bite her in the ass.
She killed that Tomorrow guy that
Thank goodness.
She was
dating
with. Yeah.
That was the one time.
But she didn't want, she had no desire to kill him, but she did. But then everyone that she had perfect justification for, she didn't.
Yeah,
and I know that she did have justification for
him, but it was different.
But yeah.
But in that moment, she had to kill him because the situation would have been so much worse for him if she didn't kill him. It was like
a mercy killing.
It was a mercy killing. Whereas with the others, it was.
It also would have been a mercy killing if she had have killed him then and there.
Yeah.
That was the thing. Aitmata was pissed at her saving her life.
Yeah, she was.
Because now she's suffering for the rest of her life. She's lost all her power. And she doesn't have anyone for support anymore. And she's like, fuck you, Shay. Why couldn't you have just let me die? She was pissed at that.
She was pissed at that. And I was pissed at her too. Because she would do this every time. And every time someone would get hurt for it.
But plot progression.
True. I mean, I like plot progression.
See, and that's the funny thing. It's like with Barrow and all of that, we always come back to that point of, but if they died, the plot wouldn't have happened the way that it needed to.
Yeah. Agreed. She should have killed Ait when she found her in the church. Her whole reasoning of thinking there would be no leader because she thought Hela was dead just made no sense. Yeah,
I can understand where she was finding that rationale. She was also in the midst of grief, so not you probably thinking that rationally. But it's like, well, shit, like Nico's not here. Yeah, he's not here. We don't have anyone else to replace Hilo. So if she dies, everything is going to go tits up. Absolutely everything. So if I save her, then at least there's one person that understands how this needs to run to make sure that Kikon is not invaded by foreign policies and just trampled to shit.
Well, and then also
Hilo was alive. Oh, fuck.
It also shows that no matter what, Shay always sort of deferred to Ait. She always felt like Mata was still stronger than her, still more important to the clans than her. Like Mata was always gonna. It's almost like Mata was her role model. Like not in the emotional way and how Ait was a bitch, but like in the, you're a strong woman that is at the head of this thing, and you always are more clever than me. You're always more clever, and you're a better fighter than I am. And so like there was almost this like she's untouchable to Shay, and she needed to be there. Like somehow she had to be there because Shay couldn't imagine a world without Aitmata in it. And so when the situation happened where everything was everything was uncertain, Aitmata was the only one she could think of in that moment who could save the day. You know, which screwed up, but
I mean,
oh, sorry, we're back to something.
fine.
Like for this question, like to me, Shay would want to leave Mata alive because it wasn't like the mountain was just gonna all of a sudden accept Shay as like
Mm.
the one ruler, and there was just like nobody to keep that side any order, like on that side.
I also think Shay was probably aware of the fact that she would die if she became Pillar. Like she
Shay was
would be
in
whispered
really
and done.
bad
Like
health
I don't.
at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't
and
think that.
No, go ahead.
I don't think that she was going to like she would have been trampled and destroyed.
Yeah, and the other thing was that Shay also knew that the Aspenians were waiting to come in and take over Kikon at any point. They were waiting. They had their naval base at Human Island. They were waiting for a little bit of unrest so they could come in and take over and say, "We're clear. We're
They
taking
manufactured the unrest. They didn't stop the bombing. They knew.
And so she felt like if the clans were in that much turmoil, and at that point, No Peak was not as strong as Mountain. Mountain was stronger at that point. Then the Aspenians would come in and just take over everything. And it would be the end of clans altogether. That would have been the end of clans altogether, especially considering their opinion on Jade at that time. They would have taken all the Jade away because they wanted to use it for their own purposes. And that was Shay's fear. Whether or not that actually would have happened, who knows? Because it never came to fruition. Like that never ended up being a problem. But I think that was her instant reaction. Whether or not it was a good instant reaction, we'll never know because it wasn't written that way. Yeah. Shay was a complicated character too. Very complicated.
I liked her.
I love Shay. When one of my favorite like quotes in this book or like moments in this book was when Hilo was asking her, like after she'd been tortured and put in that bathtub with all that jade, and then she had like an aversion to it and she couldn't be around it anymore. Hilo's like, "What are you gonna do? Like if you can't wear your jade?" And she's like, "Well, gee, I don't know, Hilo. Like, how about I do my job?" And I just like I love her so much. Like,
yeah. When she said that, I was just like, yes.
That was one of my favorite moments of the whole book.
That was so good because it's just that, and I think that genuinely sums up my issues with Hilo. It's like they don't need Jade. They just need to be able to do their fucking job, and they do it well, you dumb shit. So then she's like, "Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'm just gonna keep doing what I gotta do." But then she did hate that at the end she was helpless because she didn't have a jade. She couldn't save Hilo. She couldn't perceive things. She didn't know what was going to happen next because she just didn't have it.
And she would, if she had her jade, she would have figured out about the penitence sooner also because she was really observant. Like she was always really observant of things. I think she would have figured it out sooner.
Was she in that meeting?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I feel like she was aware that something was happening, but again, because she
She
didn't
was
have
so
a Jade,
tuned
she
into
couldn't
Hilo
figure it out.
and like that something was off
Hilo
with
was-
Hilo.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh damn, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh well.
Okay, I did forget about Speaking, but for the mountain issue, Ite had already named her successor. Yeah, which she hated. She hated Coben.
We knew that wasn't going to end well.
But to know so many people hated the Cobens.
Oh, I know
It's
what I was gonna say.
interesting.
Okay, remember at the end when Hilo was just barely hanging on to life and Shay leaned into Andon and was like using his jade to be able to pick up on Hilo's like
Yeah.
life force, like to know that he was still with them until he wasn't. Like yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
sweet.
Feelings, emotional trauma.
I liked Ite Addo, but I mean, I guess he's even the one that said he wasn't going to be a very strong pillar. But yeah, I think the problem here was that Ite never actually believed in her successor. She just did it because she had to.
Yeah.
I liked Shay as well. She had a lot of character changes, and she did. She had a lot of character changes. These characters just went through Andon changed so much, so much. I really liked him throughout, but I really liked what he became in the end.
Aside from Lot's husband.
Well, yeah, aside from that. What a power couple.
I love Shay and Woon as a power couple.
Yeah.
They complemented each other perfectly.
They did. Which you could tell they were going to, because he was a great. What was he for her? She was the weatherman, and he
Became the
was
seal.
But before that, he was considered her what?
Shadow?
Yeah.
Her shadow. That's
Shadow.
right.
That's right.
He was so good at it because he could. Yeah, they had great chemistry.
You know how we were talking about the like sex scenes earlier and how those didn't really
Awkward.
hit it out of the park?
Uncomfortable.
So I was thinking about that and like how Paige was saying like, oh, she could write all these scenes where the jade was used, in martial arts and everything and was so like effective with that, but then not with the lovemaking scenes. And like I was thinking about characters that like both had jade like while even like being intimate. And like I really think the only two were Shay and Woon. She totally could have explored that. Like, how does that make it different? Like,
yeah.
I don't know. Like, I'd like to know.
I also think there was that was one time that it wasn't written badly. Was when Woon and her were getting together. No, it was still uncomfortable. Never mind. I just had to remember.
Yeah, she could have explored like what's it like to have sex if you have. No, we don't want her exploring anything with sex because she's terrible at writing sex.
To be fair, though, that did make me giggle so much at how bad it was.
I was like, oh, is it supposed to be this icky? It's icky. It's icky. Was it supposed to be intentional?
When Hilo went to that lilac divine after Finn was like injured, I was not okay.
Negative point for Hilo for being douche canoe. And she was just like, so like, we're the best because we like make it a whole experience. I just take off your clothes. Okay, bye. Shit, man. Shit. You might have just been more effective with your hand rather than involving another person. Jesus.
Oh, wow.
And I hated that Wen was like, she knew that she couldn't give that to him. She was physically disabled. But she knew that he was seeking it elsewhere. And she's like, it's okay. I understand why he's doing it. But also like, oh, that's a shame. And I was like, oh, you're taking that so much better than I probably would.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was
because she knew she physically could not satisfy that need.
Well, they weren't emotionally dealing with each other either at that point. Or
No.
he wasn't dealing with her emotionally at that point either.
But then there were some times where I can't remember if it was in this one or in the second one, where he would, like, the way that they had sex scenes together was so just like power to him, and she was just an object for him to bang. And I'm like,
I think that's part of what made a lot of the sex scenes that way, though. They just were like
they weren't
very
intimate.
unemotional, and they weren't very intimate. Yeah,
Yeah.
it felt more clinical, but also like that there isn't that, like, the point of those sexual scenes should have been the connection between the two, and you didn't get the emotion of it. It was like a dude wrote these sex scenes.
I wonder if she has much sex. Because, like, take Katie Robert, for example. Her sex scenes are not going to be for everyone. I fully appreciate that. There is one where he's got telekinesis powers that he can shape and utilize. She's got dragons. Like, the realism of it is not there. That is fine. But the way that their chemistry is, it's just like, and not everyone's going to vibe with it. That's totally fine. But I feel like no one's going to vibe with Fonda Lee's chemistry and scenes, whereas you can at least appreciate.
I wonder if anybody found her sex scenes hot.
I'd be very curious. I would be very curious.
I don't know if I want to know.
They were words that she wrote.
And awkward. They were awkward. It just felt.
They were.
Yeah, it felt awkward. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like we went through a whole lifetime with these characters. It really was a legacy, for sure.
100%.
So much development, so much regression, development, regression. Yeah, ups and downs.
Never liking Hilo until the end.
Okay, I did side-eye Hilo for stepping out on wind. That was not cool. I talked to him about it severely.
No, someone needed to.
But you did, Amber. Hilo, let's have a conversation. Now, I don't think this is right. I don't think you mean to do it, but I think that you need to pay attention to how you're coming across now.
The way that your wife is feeling about this, maybe have a conversation.
Yeah, communication is key. Kilo.
Make me Kilo.
Oh my goodness.
I think that was something that all of the relationships I adored, like Shay and Woon, and in the partner that he ends up with, they communicated effectively. Like their initial and I can't remember his name. I keep going to say Jumpshed, but that's
Corey?
Empire of Gold. No, the one he actually ends up with.
Oh, Drew. How do you say it? How do you pronounce it? Drew?
It looks like Jurhu. Or Jurhu, yeah.
There's a Y in there.
That's like the full version. It's like JIRH.
Did I just call him J?
UYA.
The shortened version is Jurhu, right?
Yeah.
Anyway,
what if we just call him J?
Let's go with J. Yeah. They didn't communicate effectively at the beginning of their relationship. And, there was the tension there because of the clan dynamics and him not wanting to be a part of it, and wanting J to be involved and all of that. But they hit a point where they started communicating effectively. And that's when they became a really solid couple. Shay and Woon always communicated pretty effectively with one another. They had to. Like, from their job roles into this. Hilo and Wen never had that communication, and their relationship was always the one that was most fictitious for me, because I'm like, just fucking talk to one another.
But when he made her Pillarman, they talked a lot.
But about the clan, not about themselves.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Like, and they did get better towards the end, especially after Rue died, and that communal grief for 12 months. Like, they grieved and then they came together at the end. and started communicating better, and it grew. But we're, what, 30 years into their marriage at this point?
Yeah.
Like, it was just that whole foundation of lack of communication. So I just thought Wen deserved better. And Hilo thought he was giving her the best, but they never communicated effectively. And that's where the relationship broke down. Because I'm genuinely surprised that they still were married by the end of it. But I like couples that communicate.
I think that a lot of couples don't. So
And that's realistic.
Yeah.
Especially when you're in that power dynamic as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow.
Yes.
Yeah. It's tough. I mean, there were so many aspects to this. Like, I feel like we just could keep
Unpacking?
unpacking all the layers. Thank you, Paige. That was very helpful. Because there was so much to this series, so much to this book on its own. Yeah, there was a lot. It was great. This was
I think
fun.
it was yeah. You go.
You say it.
This was the perfect book club book.
Yes, I agree. This was because we had so much we could talk about with this, and it was there. There's so much to uncover, so much to, and it is a lot easier, I think, to read a series like this when you have other people to talk about this book with. Like, I feel like in the we had a lot more discussion in the chat for this series than we have, I think, with the prior series. I mean, we had some really good discussions in the chats in our chapter channels, but I think a lot of people had a lot of questions with this one or had things they needed to confirm, and so there was a lot of places where we did have a lot of conversation going on there, which was really nice for the discussion. So it was definitely a great book club. Like, it was great for BookStara Readalongs. We done good. Picking this
I
one.
really liked, I can't remember who it was, but they responded to one of my comments just being like, I think it was Tess. I was just like putting like eek or, not very detailed comments. Oh, right. What was that for? Oh, that was where Woon's ex-wife fucking nailed Shay, and I was just like, ah. And then Tara was like, I love that's all you put, and then I'm like, it just gets worse as we go because it's literally just like emojis or eek or oh no. And that was my contribution to the conversation.
It was the emotion. You were sharing your emotional responses. I love them. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah, this was a fun series. It's wild that we're already starting on the next series already. Wild. And we're going to touch back, if you're okay, on Deborah Harkness.
That's very exciting.
How long has it been since she put out a book? How many years since she last put out a book? If anybody needs to go read all the Discovery of Witches series, go back and read them before August.
2018.
2018. Wow. And
because she's been sick, right?
Yeah, with cancer, right?
6 years.
And this is supposed to be part of the series.
Yeah. I don't know if I want to go in blind and see. Not read a synopsis or hear about the synopsis.
Yeah. I kind of want
to know who we're following.
You can do it, Alicia.
Go, Alicia, go. Go, Alicia, go.
I believe in you.
Go, Alicia. Go, Alicia,
You're a strong, independent woman.
Just 2 books for me, not too bad. Okay, not bad. You got this. And Times Convert's not the best, but, I don't remember what that one was about.
That was the
It was about that younger
revolutionary.
guy, Yeah.
Should I reread the? No, I can't reread the whole series.
You know the guy.
That's
No.
right. I don't remember.
Matthew meeting Marcus.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the-
Oh, I like Marcus. But I didn't like that. I didn't like that book as much as the others.
No. And that's okay. What is that? What the hell? Huh. I don't know why, but there's just a
We're
random.
so glad you joined
floppy disk.
us.
Yeah, me too. Especially if it's series that you wouldn't. Yeah, you loved these, Amber. And how'd you like Lunar Chronicles? I can't remember. That was such a long time ago. I introduced my cousin to Lunar Chronicles, Jordan, and she is obsessed with them. So
that makes me very happy.
It makes me want to reread the series. I'm like, oh gosh, it's been so long since we read Lunar Chronicles.
Those are comfort reads at this point. Like,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What was going on, Paige?
There's just there's so much love for the Lunar Chronicles, and I want to reread them, but it's been so long. But we've been doing this for.
I know. I'm coming up on my 4th year or 5th year. 4th year? What'd you just? 5th year? 4th year?
Mine's. I think I've just had my 5th year.
Oh, that was my 5th year. We started the same. I started in 2020? No.
Are you talking about your booktube?
Yeah. Starting my 5th? Is my 4th year then? Were you done?
I can't remember.
I can't remember anything either. I haven't planned anything for it yet. I'm going to be gone. I don't know what I can plan for it. July 15th is my anniversary. My booktube anniversary.
So cute. I'm so happy that we've all got to spend time together and get to know everyone.
It's pretty awesome.
I think I started my Bookstagram in December of 2019, and then by November of the following year, so I'm thinking November 2020 was when I started my booktube, because one of my first videos I did was for Believe-a-thon.
I mean, I remember your Bookstagram when you were just Bookstagram before YouTube. Yeah.
Voyage, sorry, for me.
4 years, yeah. 4 years.
2020.
Yeah. Then mine was July 2020. And that's what I thought, because I think it started during COVID, because I had already had my travel channel, but I wasn't traveling anymore. And so then I was like, I got to do something different. And I participated in Reading Rush. Remember Reading Rush? And then the Asian Readathon. And I was like, I put my Asian Readathon vlog on my travel channel. So I was like, oh, it's kind of appropriate. And then I just started a booktube channel. I was like, I'll just do this instead. And it's been way more successful and more long-lasting than that travel channel, because I started getting tired of filming traveling everywhere. I mean, I still like to get clips and add that in, but like when you're constantly trying to think of, oh, I gotta film this, or when you have a travel channel, mine was even local travel, but like just knowing that I have to plan to go somewhere to film something, got really overwhelming. And I also then wasn't enjoying my trips as much, because I was like, oh, well, I have to think about filming this and filming that and talking about this and da-da-da, and you're not as in the moment then. So this has been a much better experience for me.
So that's why you're so good at B-roll.
That's because that's what I started out with. Yeah, absolutely. My husband distracted me, so my comment is weird, but doesn't it follow different people? Yeah, Times Converts follows different people. Oh, the new one? I don't know. I haven't looked at synopsis. I don't want to know. Have you looked?
I want to go in blind. I really do.
I watched Your Discovery Witches live, so I feel like I've already read them.
Perfect.
Oh, that's true. Leanna's always. I'm impressed that you don't mind spoilers, Leanna, because we are very spoilery.
I don't mind spoilers. Amy, every time you do spoilers on one of your videos, and you're like, okay, you might want to fast forward, I'm like, no. I just watch that stuff.
If I intend on reading a book, I will skip over it. But if it's something that I'm never going to read in my life, then I'll just listen.
Same.
Okay.
But if I'm planning on reading the book, I skip over it. I'm like, I don't want to
I
But
get
that's
no. I
nice
guess
that,
I'm
you-
like Leanna in that way. It does not bother me. I'm like,
Yeah, my mom's the same way. She does not care at all she doesn't care at all about spoilers. And I'm like, yeah, I can't handle it.
I should remember that I'm going to forget.
yeah,
them
that's
by the
true.
time
No,
I
no.
get
Her
to
next
read.
comment, yes, that
Oh.
100%, 100%.
Oh.
Don't spoil me for Hob. Oh, that's funny.
I need to get back. I still haven't. Both of you, well, you're going to be reading Golden Fool, and you already read
Yep.
that page.
I'm
I
reading
still
Golden
haven't
Fool.
been able to get back to it. And I loved Fool's Errand so much. I actually want to reread
Are
that.
you on Golden Fool then?
I'm supposed to be, but I kind of want to reread the whole
Maybe.
series.
Oh,
Amy!
you should read it with me and Chaz.
I can't. I have too many other books I have to read this month.
That does not mean rereading Hob.
Huh?
That doesn't mean rereading it from the beginning.
Oh. But I kind of
That's
want.
adding more to it.
Well, I mean, I'm going to read Golden Fool. I'm not going to reread it. Maybe. I'm not going to.
Someone made sure I was reading up to reading the first book in the
I know.
Dragon
Me
Quartet.
too. I wanted to get a 6. Yeah, I know. I'm a bitch.
That still wouldn't have put me through to the end book. That would have got me 3 books into the series.
Yeah, I know. Well, I wanted to give you progress. What can I say? And I did. Go me.
Such a stinker. Like, oh man.
Oh, it's such a struggle.
Oh,
It's only because both you and Kara put on Hob and she put on Poppy War, and I've got the last 2 books of those to read.
Yeah.
And then Hobbs, and then I'm like,
I agree with Leanna.
This is gonna hurt.
I agree.
Don't start over, Amy. Keep
I
going.
agree.
You'll read afterwards. You'll keep getting stuck. Life happens.
This is true. How long have you been stuck on Golden Fool?
That's partially why I want to reread. It's been so long. Actually, it hasn't been that long.
Just get on the interwebs and read a summary of the first book and then just rock and roll.
That was my favorite book so far.
Well, reread the first one. Like, reread Fool's Errand if you're going to reread something. Just don't start at Assassin's Apprentice.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
I won't. Not yet. Not until I finish the series. Then I'll start all over again. Because it'll take me like 10 years to finish the whole series. Maybe 20. Maybe.
I would like to know that as well.
Mommy gonna read Good Girl's Guide to Murder with us? The next series? She said she was interested in it. Where are you at? You sleeping? She might be sleeping. She went to an elder's lunch today, so she's probably sleeping now. She said she was going to. Although, I'm taking this book with me on my trip, and she won't have access to it unless she gets it from the library. So, we'll see.
Seems like a solvable problem.
I mean, your mum would probably read it the day before the live show if she needed to anyway.
True. Well, she could easily get it from the
Page.
Hey, I did the.
You were ahead of the game. I know.
I put it in chunks.
Yeah. She said she was interested, but see, the problem is Mom gets on these kicks, and for a long time she would start a book and then she really just wanted to read male romances, so then she'd put everything else down. So like I'd give her books to read and then she'd start them and she wouldn't read them all the way through. So then I was like, well, I'm not gonna suggest books anymore to you then. Fine. But now she said she's gotten tired of male romance for now. So she's started this summer challenge thing I'm doing with me. And then now that she's gotten to a book that I think she's just not, either it's too stressful for her, she's not quite as interested in it. She's put that down. Now she's reading other things. I'm like, you're never going to finish the challenge. Yes, I am. You're not going to finish it. You're going to stop doing it. When I go away, you're not going to do it at all. Yes, I am. I'm going to do it. I'm like, yeah, I don't know about that.
We'll see.
We'll see.
I'll have to message her at a particular time of day that suits and just be like, have you done your challenge yet? I'm your accountability buddy while Amy's away.
That's a
Amy, will you be counting Jade Legacy as your water prompt book for my game?
hell yeah.
Because,
I gotta write that down. I gotta go in there and do that. Let me do that now.
yeah. Anybody else want to
You
count?
want to get out of the prompt? You better start reading your book. You better go start reading your book.
Maybe.
I'm just
Yeah.
trying to encourage audience participation. That's all.
We can't talk about it too much because Alicia hasn't watched. She hasn't caught up on her TBR videos yet.
Alicia, you need to skip ahead a little bit because
You need to watch Danielle's, and then you need to go over to mine, and then just be able to cry with laughter at
backtrack from
mine, and then go back.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to have. I'm gonna
Amazing.
try to have my vlog up tomorrow. I don't know if I said that to everybody, but
I can't wait to see it.
Ooh, I'm excited. Okay, here I am. I'm on your YouTube, your PBR game. I'm gonna say,
thank you. That's the way. That's the way. Very helpful.
I will wait
Four.
until the last hour.
I loved
And then
how
if I get a
it was
message, then
water
I'm going.
prompt and like we had 2 water prompts on Team Pirates last month.
And then it comes up this month.
Yeah. I was like,
Also,
oh,
for Amazing Readathon, the book that I'm currently reading has to have water on the cover.
oh. Okay.
What's
I've
up with
got
that?
2.
It also works for my bingo board because I didn't use it for water on the cover, but I do have water on the cover for that one, or water, just a water prompt too.
Can you say water again, please?
Water.
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 How do I
It's
say
not like
it?
an otter, but water.
Does it sound funny?
Water.
Yeah, it does. It just sounds like American.
Water.
Hear that? Oh shoot! Sorry. Oof.
Ooh.
Did you hear that? It was loud.
We said you
Water.
needed to go watch my game.
And yes,
And maybe
read a.
other things.
I think.
I said don't give anything away because Alicia hasn't watched the TBR games yet. That's what I said.
That's what it was.
And then I said skip ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to remember to post on your video what I said.
Yes.
This is a good idea.
Yes.
Leanna, how fast of a reader you are? You got 50. You just are 50 pages in. This is 713 pages. How fast of a reader are you?
Right.
She can get it done.
Should be right.
No, I know she can get it done. I'm just curious. Is this gonna take you like 2 months, like it took me?
Probably not.
I did not start Jade Legacy until our sprints on the 1st.
And I had already been making progress by that point.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just kept making continuous progress, and I put it down because of my 1 week 1 shelf challenge.
Which was a choice.
And I told Paige about my 1 week 1 shelf challenge. I said, I'm not going to be able to read more than 1 book for 1 week. And, I've been consistently not able to read more than 1
doing it though.
You read 1 and a bit.
1 and a
for
bit.
1 week.
Yeah, but most of them is just 1.
But I also think I am going to have to go back and like watch pages and then watch whoever was the original person that did it too, because I kind of want to have a better understanding of like all the different ways it can be done.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's open to interpretation. Like, basically, Emily from Books with Emily Fox is the one that originally I found it through. I'm pretty sure she's the one that created it. She has a jar of her shelves. So like 1 to 14 or whatever, pulls it out, goes to that shelf, starts reading wherever she wants.
Okay.
And go from there.
I feel like I remember someone doing it the way that I'm doing it, and I don't remember who.
I
But
can't remember anyone doing it like how you do.
It was one person, and that's why I got the idea to do it the way I did it. It was because I've seen somebody do it that way before. I don't remember at all. That's why I couldn't say, oh, it was this person. I saw their video and they did this. I don't remember at all who it was. Maybe if I look up 1 week 1 shelf, I could figure it out.
That's what I've just done, and it's Alice Week 1, drinking by myself. I can't see anyone. Maybe
Maybe it was.
maybe M did start it. Like
I'm not
one of them.
who started it, but they might have done it. It might have
Like
been
she
drinking
did it with a twist.
by myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
Drinking
this
by
girl
Myself
has
had
a
a lot of
lot of
right now.
subscribers. Ooh,
Yeah. Huh.
dang.
Yeah. I don't. What if I try 1 week, 1 shelf reading challenge?
Hey, look! I come up when we go shop. Look, it's me.
You do.
Oh, I don't
Oh,
see
here's
that
one.
many other ones.
There's a 1 week, 1
Yeah.
shelf reading vlog number 2. I wonder where.
I'm mostly just seeing books. You know, I'd never seen Emily Fox until you talked about.
Oh,
You
and
talked.
I love her so much. She's fabulous.
Wow. Okay.
It might have
No, I
been.
can't find it.
What's her name from Drinking by Myself?
Yeah. Emma.
Yeah.
Is she still making videos?
No,
No.
unfortunately.
She is for a different
That-
channel, like
that-
Book Club or something. It's a company that she works for.
yeah, Book Break.
But Book Break, that's the one. But yeah, she is not doing it for her own.
Okay.
Because
Everybody's going
I
to-
can't see her doing 1 week, 1 shelf, only her. And then it's drinking by myself, so it's like join the two.
Yeah, it might have been Drinking by Myself. I know that I saw somebody do it the way that I'm doing it,
Yeah.
but I couldn't give them credit because I couldn't remember who the heck it was. And it may not have been 1 week, 1 shelf challenge. It may have been just somebody who's reading through their shelves and they did. I don't remember. Thank you, Alicia. I can't wait to hope you like them. I'd say probably average. I'm dyslexic, but I have good foundation on phonics and reading when young. Sometimes it's okay. I'm not going to figure out how fast of a reader. I was just curious, if, like when you were saying you're going to get to. I mean, I'm not trying to be like intrusive. I'm just curious how long it's going to take you to get through Jade Legacy, because I feel like I could have used not that I could handle reading this book at the speed I needed to read it, but I could have stood to take longer. Like I would have liked to have been able to contemplate some of the more complex scenes towards the end longer, but I knew I didn't have time to do it. You know what I mean? I feel like this is a book that I could have just read for a while.
Was it Becca in the books with her stacks? Her
Maybe.
shelve it or scrap it?
No, that new one? No, not the new one.
Oh, okay.
I like that
She
series
uses
though.
a random number generator to go which stack.
Yeah.
But yeah.
My summer course ends next week, so I'll have a lot more free time. Yeah. Yeah. No, it was randomly choosing a shelf and then just reading all the books on that shelf right after. Like you randomly choose
like
one.
I've seen someone doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't.
I can't either.
It's like maybe they were doing it for like a TBR sort of thing.
Maybe.
And it was like randomizing the first Anyway, I'll
They
keep
did a lot
hunting for it because I want to watch. Like I love those sorts of videos, so I want to watch it. But yeah, I have no idea how you've managed to actually survive.
Oh, you mean daily vlogging?
A daily vlogging, not having the choice of shelf and then the book itself, aside from your little I'm not going to go for the compendium, I'm going to go for the one below it choice.
Yeah.
Because I'm not doing that. But like aside, there is no free choice. You've already sacrificed enough going to your classic shelf, going to non-fic, like.
Well, I mean, that's the fun of it, right? I mean, I did DNF a book because I just was like, no.
I mean, it could be worse. You could just
Good
be
night,
randomizing your
Alicia.
entire Goodreads TBR. Good night.
Oh, good night, Alicia. I look forward to it too. Oh, it's so great. If I do get immersed while reading with these books, I'll probably
3
finish
weeks, baby.
3 weeks. That's not bad at all. Especially for consistently reading it. I've been trying to read other things in between. And then my vlogs for these last 2 days are going to be the boringest because they're not 1 week, 1 shelf. Yesterday, I didn't have any time to read 1 week, 1 shelf. And then today, I haven't read any of my 1 week, 1 shelf yet either. I'm like at 3 hours I have to get for Wuthering Heights at this point.
I do like that you've dedicated an hour each day.
Oh,
Yeah.
and then adding that extra thing that you did, you chaotic little demon. This is not September. This is not Sufferathon.
Well, I'm not going to be able to suffer in September because I will be able to cause suffering in September, but I won't be able to suffer myself because I'm hopefully going to have a job.
True.
Hopefully. I mean, I
I
just
believe
keep
you.
reading and don't stop to question or think about things. Yeah, I try to remember it. Yeah, true. And I think for me, I would have liked to have been able to spend more time on this just because I wanted to remember all the things. And there were a couple of names where I was like, wait, who was that? And I wanted to go back and search for them, but I was like, I don't have time to do that. I gotta keep reading. Just keep reading. Keep reading. Yeah. I love this challenge. I just wish that I could get through more books, but I just can't. Because it'd be fun to be able to actually clear my shelf, right? 1 week, 1 shelf, as opposed to 1 week, 1 book challenge. I should have changed it to 1 week, 1 book challenge.
I mean, the other thing you could do, if and when you do it again, is just take off the shelves that you're not going to be able to get through a book in a week, like your nonfiction and classics, or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
You also happen to get the first one during teaching, which...
Yeah. It would be much more useful to do it like in the month of July. Not this month because I'm going away, but like in a month where I can do it. But I mean, aside from trying to catch up on all the books that I've started and haven't finished recently, July is meant to help me get through my Aurelian books, and I got to do all my Book Love is Blind 10%. Like, that's what I'm planning on doing for the most of the month of July. Especially because I'm going to be on a vacation, so I have plenty of dates I could be on my trip. So, that's my goal. July is to do as many of I probably won't get them all done, but try to do as many of the 10% as I can. And those take time. Like, 10% of a book, especially if it's a longer book, can take me a little bit.
Yes. Yeah.
Plus, I like to try to make them unique dates. I try not to make them all the same thing. And so, trying to figure out how that's going to work.
Sometimes you might have to do it. You might go to a fancy restaurant for 2 of your dates, and then that's okay. Or you really like some gardens, so you happen to go there twice because you think it is beautiful to do.
Yeah, we'll see what ends up happening. Yeah, I have no clue because I'm gonna be on this trip, so it's like,
I get to explore.
Where am I gonna be? Is Danielle falling asleep?
What? No. I'm very relaxed, but I'm not falling asleep.
Okay. You look very relaxed, which is great.
Like, luckily, Fitz is not purring right now, because if he was, that'd be it.
What a cute. All right, well, I think that's all we have to say about Jade Legacy.
Yeah.
I have to.
And our brains allow us to.
I was going to pause it, but I couldn't get to the mute. Sorry.
Also, please watch my vlog, because it's a month of this.
Mine will be coming out hopefully sometime next month. we shall see. I don't know what's happening with my life, but hopefully.
Well, I'm sorry I failed.
Failed?
Meaning I was supposed to do a vlog just like you two are doing. And instead, I'm just adding all the clips.
that's still a vlog.
I know. But I'm not talking about
Getting to
spoilers in it
experience
either.
with you.
Yeah, it's okay.
Oh,
Just
mine's very spoiler.
send them here.
Mine is
Hello, if you have
nothing
something.
but spoiler. Like, do not even watch it if you do not want to be spoiled.
It is the spoiler of spoils. Leanna's looking forward to it.
Sweet.
Well, you guys get to see how ugly I look when I cry tomorrow. If I can get that video posted. Ugh.
Oh yeah.
Just a lot of like lip.
Just I really got my feelings hurt. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. I'm like, wow, I don't. Some people cry attractive. I don't.
It was like I know we're like wrapping it up, but to me it was just so crazy because I went a huge part of that book and like I was like, there's no way I'm gonna cry. I just wasn't having like any kind of feelings. And then all of a sudden,
You were panicking because you're like, I'm not crying yet.
like,
Do I
no,
need to be crying?
I haven't been feeling.
oh,
Yeah. Then it happened.
Let's watch it.
Yeah. It's not a good cry if it isn't ugly. I guess that's true. Yeah.
I wonder if you're gonna look like a fish.
I didn't sob. There were a couple of times I like. You can see my like.
Yeah.
little chin quiver. Oh my gosh.
Oh, I chin quiver a lot. And there were a few times where, there was once where I went, and like
I had like a couple like really like fat ones just fall right on my book, and then I'm like mopping up my book,
Dabbing
you know,
it.
like
Yeah, I've done that before.
oh, my poor book.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Where is
What an emotional roller coaster.
For sure.
what an emotional roller coaster.
Thank you, Jade Legacy.
Thank you,
For
Jade
crushing
Legacy.
my heart.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Oh,
Yeah,
I got red
finally.
in the face because I sneezed, not because I'm crying.
At least you were able to get the mute button in time. Oh, in the video. I thought you meant right now.
No.
I was looking at my book. I missed it. Oh, so you look like you're red in the face?
Yeah. But it's because I sneezed.
Hey, Leanna, thank you for my book. Thank you.
She's a sweetie.
Leanna's a sweetie. Leanna's definitely a sweetie. Yeah.
We did it.
Done good. We done good.
We finished the series.
We did. You know, it feels so good to finish series. I rarely do it. I always start series and never finish. That's the nice thing about BookStara is I actually finish the
Yeah.
series.
This is very, very good for that.
Mm-hmm.
It really helps me see things through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And closer together than what they normally would be.
Right.
For sure.
Where am I? So I obviously keep track of my series in my spreadsheet. But I did for completing 3 trilogies of trilogies. And it's been so interesting how the last books in the series have gone for these. And I'm just like, ooh, this is fun. So that's my whole vlog. Jade Legacy is the first one in it. But it's just like,
Oh, that's fun.
This feels satisfying.
Yes. Well, that was like me when I did that Seriously series in the last year. That I felt so stinking good about that. It was like one final book after the other, and it was a really good feeling. I may do that again at the end of this year. It was it was that positive of an experience.
Good way to close out the year too, is by finishing the series. Yeah, that was for me like when I did finish that series at the beginning of the year. Although it got overwhelming. It was long. That was a long round.
I don't know if I'll do that again, honestly. Ooh.
I don't think I can do a competitive version.
Yeah, that was a lot. It was fun though. It was fun,
Yeah,
but
it was so good.
I didn't finish up my vlog series because I just got burnt out.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's I think the hardest thing about participating in readathons being on BookTube is you want to document them, but that is an extra thing you have to think about instead of just being able to read.
To participate, yeah.
Like I should be editing this 3 and 3 vlog as I go. I'm not, because I still have something of this much of Empire of Gold, Wings of Ebony, and another book to read by the end of the month. Yep. Like, I don't have time to be editing. I'm lucky I got my readathon video out.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday I've been really good about getting my videos out every day, just really, really good. And yesterday I did not have the time, and it was a longer vlog. So.
And you were prioritizing Jade Legacy.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, this is
right.
No, it was Yeah. But I tried not to, and I don't feel bad about it, but I definitely had like, it was like a little bit of like, but I've been so good about doing it every single day. Like, I've been consistent. And then, it's okay. As long as, that's what I'm going to do after we get off this, is finish working on that video and make sure it goes up tomorrow, so that because I'll just keep getting it further and further behind, and I don't want to do that. I want to stay on top of it. So.
Is there the potential for you to put the 2 videos out on a day?
Well, no, I mean, I don't necessarily know if I want to do that, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit those videos. I'm going to try to get all the videos edited, because like my last day is on Sunday. So I'd like to at least get the other video that I'm behind on edited. Like, I'll probably try to edit 2 in one day, but like my Thursday one was really short. Yesterday was really, really short because I really didn't do anything. I was doing this, and today is not going to be. In fact, I should do some. Wait, hold on. Oh, no, wait. Everybody say hi to the vlog.
Hi,
So,
vlog.
it's definitely I'm definitely gonna try to get as much done this weekend as I can before I go on my trip, because I leave on Monday, and I will bring my computer and I could still do some editing, but I want to have some of them queued up already so I don't have to worry about them when I go.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So most of it should be done. But yeah, like, that's what I was saying. These last 2 vlogs aren't going to be as long as the one where I have my emotions. I also just talked so much that day. So there's a lot of talking. So it's fun. It's chatty Amy day.
I just want to work on Martha.
For what?
My cow.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, your cow. I have this, but I'm just never going to get started on it.
Oh, it's so pretty. Is that cross stitch or embroidery?
It's cross stitch.
Ah! I want it.
And one of these days, I will work on this. In fact, one of my rewards for getting a bingo, if I get it, is a cross stitch day. Like just spending a night doing cross stitch or something.
Oh, I like that reward.
With my nomies. No problema. That's so cute.
I've really taken a passion for cross stitching, apparently.
I love it. I love it.
Yes, if you do get that reward, I would love to be able to join if you wanted company.
Yeah, we'll do some cross stitch sprints. I'll do cross stitch sprints. Or I'll just let you know. Paige, let's do cross stitch sprints. Yeah, that'd be fun. If I get it, I'll let you know. Otherwise, I've got so many things I gotta do. Oh.
I believe in you.
It's just, my trip is right around the corner, and I haven't even packed or anything. I haven't thought about what I'm going to pack for it, because I've been trying to get this done.
Did you finish De-Evolution?
Yes, I did.
Oh, okay. That's it. I was going to say, you put your audiobook in, and...
I am listening I've already started another audiobook. So I'm gonna definitely put that in and start. I have to put together a list of what I want to bring with me because I just want to make sure because it's going to be all in my car mostly, so I don't have to worry about too much. But I want to make sure if I need to bring anything, that I remember to bring it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm excited. I'm excited.
So good.
Just that the summer's already. It's already almost the end of June. Like, what the heck?
Don't
Rude.
think about it. It's fine. It's all good.
It's fine. It's fine. It's all fine. It's kind of rude.
Everything's fine. Yes. Time is going a little bit too quickly for our liking.
But I did finally finish my cover letter and applied for jobs. And then they were like, please fill out these addendums. And it's like paragraphs of like, what's your thoughts on assessment? How would you have rigor in your classroom and stuff? And I'm like, but that's for the interview. Why don't you just leave that for the interview and don't make me write more? Because I already wrote enough. Like irritated.
That's weird.
Yeah. In the module.
It's also completely dependent on what kids you're working with. Like you have a blanket idea, but make adjustments depending on what's required in the classroom. So that's not really going to provide any good information to them as your capabilities prior.
I think they want to know what I know, like what kind of strategies I could use for situations. And it's like, well, just ask me. I don't want to write it. I don't want to write anything right. I already wrote my cover letter. That was enough.
Can't you just can I call?
We just talk about it.
Can I get speech to text?
One of my professors, she gave us the opportunity to do video instead of writing essays and stuff. Like it was not a class it wasn't a writing class. Like, so she would let us turn in our assignments by just doing a video. And I was like, that's perfect because I do videos all the time. I'd rather just talk to you about it than actually write it all out.
Yeah.
I would most of my assignments I would turn in, I would just, do a video and explain everything that way. Can I just do that? Can I just attach a video? Question.
Why not?
Yeah. Well, then
And you get to see me and all my fabulous glory and how amazing of a boss bitch I am.
I'm much more charming in person.
I definitely look better in real life than on paper.
Exactly. If you want to see how I'm going to assess, I'll show you, as opposed to tell you. Yeah.
Isn't that one of the fundamental keys to writing?
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, it does the kind of questions they ask you during an interview. It's like, well, then just wait till the interview. I guess they're trying to weed out people, but it's a little. Bastards. I think I'm just so not in the mood of doing any more work right now that I'm like,
have months.
Yeah. Anyways. Any final thoughts? BookStara read-alongs? Okay, so July is going to be a Good Girl's Guide to Murder on whose channel? Is it your turn, Danielle, or is it Paige's turn? Whose turn is it?
Who did we start with?
Who did that before?
I thought maybe it was Paige, but I could be wrong.
Because I think it was on your channel for Jade War.
Okay, and then Paige.
If you're happy.
What are we going to do about the Oracle one?
We'll figure that out as we go.
Very exciting. If I had my copy, I would hold it up as well.
This is July, and we have decided that the Deborah Harkness follow-up book is going to be August.
Yep.
Oracle Blackbird book.
Blackbird Oracle.
Blackbird Oracle.
Amazing cover.
And we don't know yet whose channel that's going to be on.
That will be around somewhere, somehow, some way.
But this will be on Paige's channel. So get ready to pick up your YA mystery series and bring your thoughts. I've already put the channels up in the Discord, and that is that.
I'm so excited.
I'm excited.
Why did someone chew on the back of the pen?
Mom spilled coffee on mine, so I got to clean off the coffee.
I'm so excited. And because it's mixed media.
There's a lot.
Oh, is it really? I didn't know that. Sweet.
I
I'm
did 4
curious to see how the
chapters.
audiobook. Yeah.
If it handles. I did 4 chapters because it's a much smaller book. And the chapters are short. There's like 48 chapters in this. So I did
4 chapters? Oh my gosh.
Living our high life.
I just got excited on a whole other level.
So it'll be fun. It'll be fun. I'm excited about it. And it'll be a lot more relaxing than
Oh,
this
I hope
series.
so.
Maybe.
Well, I mean, it'll be relaxing in the complexity. It won't be relaxing in, it's about murder.
Content.
It's about murder, So how long is it going to be?
Murder!
I love murder.
Oh, we got issues. I love that BookStara t-shirt you got there, Paige.
That is really nice.
It was a beautiful present from a glorious friend. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It is honestly like one of the most comfortable t-shirts I've ever owned.
I love mine too.
It's good quality, yeah. I gotta get better at like remembering to use it for our live shows and stuff.
Because I'm just like, it's BookStara Day, BookStara shirt.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
Fine.
It's perfect. All right. Paige is waggling her boobs at us. All right, everybody. This has been a wonderful time. Cheers to Leanna.
Cheers, Leanna.
Thank you for everyone who stuck it out with us. Appreciate it. And we will see you soon. We'll see you in next month. We're not even getting a month in between. We'll see you soon.
I'm fine with that.